Aloha.
Give it right back. Got the record, better get off my track. In the big leagues, now it's a fact. Can't take you seriously. Think that you wanna go? Can't catch me too slow. Look, now I'm on a roll. All you can say is blah 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 blah. Look, now I'm on a roll. Blah 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 blah. All I hear is blah blah blah.
Welcome to Crown Point High School and welcome to the Bulldog Network here, presented by CPTV Sports. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls here tonight. Our pregame coverage is going to include a special interview with Coach Swan. Our guests Sasha Stefanovic and Alex Nicola will be on in just a segment. And to cap off our pregame coverage, we're going to show you keys to the game here for Penn versus CP. And stick around because in addition to our pregame coverage, we are going to have Penn versus CP precisely at 6:30 p.m. here on the Bulldog Network. Everything you're going to see tonight is produced by the radio and TV students at here program at Crown Point High School. Well, Coach Swan, year 20, Cam, for him. We have a chance to sit down with him earlier in the week, and he's trying to pursue that ever-coveted state championship, and that would be an excellent way to send this group of seniors off. Coach, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
2006 was your first season here at Crown Point. It's year 20 for you. How's that feel?
Makes me feel very old. It seems impossible that it was that many years ago. You look at the players that have come through since I've been here, and those players now have kids who are coming through our camps or coming up through our system right now.
Well, Coach, in those 20 years that you've been here, the game of basketball has evolved a lot. Going from, 2-point post game to a whole lot of 3-point shots being chucked up. How has your coaching philosophy changed in those 20 years?
Well, one thing that I've tried to pride myself on is that I'm constantly evolving. So your coaching philosophy always changes according to the personnel that you have, the opponents that you're playing, trends of the game, and so forth. But you always have your non-negotiables.
What just happened? That's why you got a wide open three. They weren't even in anything, but it went zip, zip, wide open three. You've got to force loopy passes. That's where we need everybody getting to. Then we're going to be making progress.
The one thing that has probably caused me to adapt the most is just the quality of player that has taken the floor these days. I'm amazed by how good these guys are. I think that just on an individual basis, if you look position to position, there's been an evolution in terms of the ability of these guys now, and I'm amazed.
One of those talented players that has come through this program is Dikembe Shaw. He committed to UIC just a few months ago. What can you say about him and his talent and what he's provided to this program?
Well, I think that the biggest thing that he's brought to our program is development. So many times you have a player who's fortunate enough to play at the varsity level as a freshman and is a key contributor as a freshman, and they rest on their laurels a little bit. Every aspect of his game has gotten better, from his ball handling to his shooting to his passing to his defense. And you look at the player that he is now, a very high-level player. We're fortunate that he wasn't someone who was satisfied after that freshman or sophomore year and just plateaued. The trajectory has continued to go up for him, and we've paid dividends as a result of that.
Coach, anybody who's coached basketball for 20 years here in the state of Indiana, I have to ask this question. What do you want to be remembered as when you step away from the game of basketball?
I think all that really means is I'm old.
Let's go, quick, outlet it. Inside hand. There you go. Good group right there.
Being able to connect with kids, being able to, after these players have their kids who are grown, the fact that I'm still able to communicate and commiserate with those people, with those players who will always be close to me, is the best part of this, and it always will be.
Here we go, process on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Welcome back to Game Night. That was an excellent opportunity to sit down with Coach Swan. It was great to get his thoughts here before his 20th season at Crown Point. I haven't been at Crown Point very long. I'm a junior here. I've been here for 3 years, but it doesn't really feel like year 20 for Coach Swan. I think 20 years at one school, and he's chasing that state championship. They got the closest they've been in his Crown Point career last year, making it to the night game at semi-state. But this year seems a little bit different, Cam.
Yeah, and not to mention almost 10 years of being drained to go along with the 20 at Crown Point. It's really something special. And I had a chance to go to practice on Tuesday and really see what their game plan was and how this is one of their toughest games of the season. And Swan told us that many times. And Caleb Kuhlman, the sophomore, averaged 20 points last year as a freshman and is their main target to try and stop. Swan was talking about it all practice about how they need to stop the three. Shot 41% last year, which is ridiculous for any player. Just really focusing on trying to stop him and limit him as much as possible.
Yeah, as a freshman last year, by the way, Caleb Kuhlman, and by the way, Penn CP happened last year. The Bulldogs won 66-46. This game is going to be a lot closer. Talking to Coach Swan after and before the interview, this Penn team's a lot better than last year.
100%, and I'm excited to see the development of Caleb Kuhlman. I mean, he was that good last year. Who knows how good he's going to be this year? And we'll see how Crown Point does to stop him with all the practice that they've been doing.
Yeah, and Dikembe Shaw, Mason Darrell, Bryce Peters, a whole lot of seniors, a great group of seniors. This would be an excellent way to send them off with a state championship. A lot of potential with this team this year, Cam.
100%. I mean, you make it to the night game last year. You're craving that state championship, one that hasn't been brought to Crown Point, ever? A boys basketball state championship? And that's what they're hungry for. And this is one of the best groups we've had in a long time.
Yeah, and Coach Swan's enduring career, he almost got there, got to the state championship and lost. And he's trying to get a state championship here at Crown Point High School. Stay with us here on Game Night. Next segment, Sasha Stefanovic and Alex Nicola would join us here at the desk on Game Night.
Hi, my name is Michael Greenberg, and I am a senior at Crown Point High School. Right now, we're in Miss Cosme's marine science class, and we're learning how scientists use sonars to judge the topography of the ocean's floor and how they are able to find the valleys and the mountains underneath the ocean. I really like to take this class because I think it helps me find out how to impact the oceans and just the environment in general, so I have more of a positive impact on the world. This is one of the ways we are CP.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career, your first pay raise, the 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment, much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Emma and Jake's just baby-proof their 2-bedroom bungalow to prepare for baby number 1 insurance. We're good at Madeline and Chance's just gave in and became minivan people to make room for baby number 2 insurance. And we're good at Gabby and Nate's just moved to a house with a bigger backyard to welcome fur baby number 3 insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
I chose yearbook because I really liked photography, and coming into yearbook, it definitely has met my expectations. It's taught us a lot about writing. It's gotten me to connect more with people and learn more about people. It's just given me a lot of opportunities for out of college and a lot of skills you can use in the workforce. Yeah, so here we are in charge of putting together spreads in the book, which is the pages. You will go to each event and take photos. You'll write captions and copies. Copies are longer stories relating to a topic, like usually if a team goes to state, we'll write about that.
I believe that any pathway that we have at Crown Point High School is beneficial to whatever you want to do after high school, and I think you should join just to see what you want to do.
Welcome back to Game Night. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls, and we bring on our special guest for tonight, Sasha Stefanovic, former CP basketball player, former Purdue basketball player, and now the current assistant coach at Purdue. And of course, Alex Nicola, former CP basketball player and baseball player, and member of the radio and TV program, 2013 CP graduate, 2017 CP graduate. We're grateful to have you guys on. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thanks for having us, man.
Of course. Alex, I'll start with you. You were a member of this radio and TV program. How different does all this stuff look, huh?
This is incredible.
Yeah,
you guys are doing a phenomenal job. And I was telling you before, you know, even listening to you guys in the football game, it was phenomenal. Like, the broadcast was great. Everything you guys have done is awesome. It's really cool to see, so I appreciate you guys having us.
Of course.
100%. And the community of Crown Point has changed a lot since you guys were seniors. What is the biggest change you've seen since you graduated from Crown Point?
Good question.
Yeah, for myself, last time I was here, in the high school, I walk in the weight room area and I see a brand new indoor football, turf field and all these new equipment and all this new wings and different things in the high school. So I think it's really cool. I think our community is really special. I think there's a lot of great people that want to help and want to give back and want to do things to help this community grow. And you see it with different buildings and with the YMCA and our high school and continuous neighborhoods growing. So I think it's really cool for to just come back and see the development, and it's always nice to be back.
Yeah, from my perspective, I have never left. I was born at St. Anthony's. I've never left Crown Point. I used to be kind of ashamed of that, and now I've got to be honest, I'm like insanely proud of it. It's really cool to see the amount of people who are not from, like, there's people who move from outside of Northwest Indiana here and they settle here, and then there's people who are from Northwest Indiana who move here to be here for all the reasons, right? Programs like this, athletic programs, obviously. So it's been interesting to see, like, when we were growing up, it was not like that. 10 years ago, it wasn't like that at all. Now it's like people move within Northwest Indiana and from outside of Northwest Indiana to be in Crown Point. That part has been really, really, really interesting to see. How even also, like, downstate, like, the state knows who we are now, right? Which was never really that way. You know, if you heard about anybody in Northwest Indiana, it was usually like Munster, you know, stuff when we were back 10 years ago, 12 years ago when I was in school. So very, very different. Pretty cool to see, you know, how you guys have done a good job putting us on the map like that. So
of course, the community's grown a lot here. It used to be kind of, you know, suburb of Chicago, like everyone kind of comes here just to get to work in Chicago, but you're right, it's grown into a huge thing where people actually want to live here in Crown Point. Well, guys, both of you played sports. You played baseball, Alex, you played basketball, and Sasha, you played basketball here too. I want to ask you guys, how did your high school sports career impact you now? Like, how has it impacted your career now as an adult?
Yeah, I think it's the foundation of myself, my family, you know, all of our roots. I think it's really a special thing to be a part of athletics and sports and whatever it is, right? Baseball, basketball, soccer, football, whatever it is. It teaches you a lot of things, right? It teaches you patience, it teaches you toughness, it teaches you hard work, teamwork, togetherness, teaches you how to be humble, you know, and a lot of times you're not going to win all the time, right? I think it's super important for people to understand you got to, you know, have patience in the process. Not everything's going to happen all at once. I tell young athletes that all the time, that, you know, as young people, you want everything at once, right? You want the success, you want, you know, the fame, you want the money, whatever it is, right? You want all of that stuff, but I think it's really important to understand that day by day, what am I doing to get myself better, to have a better life in the future? So all of those things, you know, within my youth, you know, being here in Crown Point, of growing up in AAU programs and playing for Coach Swan and, you know, his staff, it's just taught me, you know, how to be, you know, just a good person on and off the floor. So it's super important. It's the foundation of my being.
Nice, man. Dude, that was good. I've got kind of three things that come to mind. One is, I mean, definitely echo what he said, but one would be, from my experience with sports, realizing, like, our team specifically, basketball, if I can relate it to, we had probably some of the most talent I've ever seen. I was the only dude under 6'5" for our first 8. And that's only because I hustled and I could guard their one. Outside of that, I wasn't doing much else. But we had some rough seasons. And I mean, we're talking 500. In our mind, 500's rough for what our expectation was. And it had everything to do with our experience was a lot of people who were out there to play for themselves at that time. And then I watched Sasha's group come in and how they played together. And to win, and it really in life, it can't just be about you. So that was one for me, and I cannot stand losing. Like, I hate losing. And watch, like, what we went through in our basketball season, it was just, there was so much talent and so much ego. So I learned from that, and seeing that, like, in life, it's more than just about you. So that's one. Two, I also learned a lot of what not to do. I think my career, I let the opinions of other people really, really dictate my success or lack thereof in terms of my high school athletics. And so I cared so much about what other people thought. And realizing as you grow up, right after I got to high school, I started to learn other people's opinions have nothing to do with my success. But I let what other people thought about me completely determine what my success was on the court. And then lastly was mindset, man. It is learning the mindset of how to be successful, how to achieve, the way that it builds your mindset just to go throughout in life, man. Now I'm a father of 3 kids. I'm married. What I've learned, my wife and I have been together since we were 19. The things that I've learned, I run a business and own a business. What I've learned from that, from sports, all dictates to my life in both as a father, as a husband, and in my business. And so athletics, man, at Crown Point here, what I learned from here just had so much to do. I'm impacted the everyday things in life that some people, when you're young, you're like, oh, that's lame. But as you get older, you start to realize those are the most fulfilling things in life. Right. So it's made me a better father, a better husband. And yeah, that's really what I've learned from my experience.
Definitely a strong message to all young sports players out there about how it can lead you to lessons in your life as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha, you are now the assistant coach of the Boilermakers.
Mhm.
What has that been like to be an assistant coach on one of the best teams in the nation?
Yeah, it's really, really special. Obviously, for myself, when I was in my basketball career as a player, I didn't know if I necessarily wanted to be in the, coaching world. It's really hard. You got to get lucky. It's a grind. And luckily for myself, I had a professional career overseas in Greece and Serbia, and I just decided I want to do something different. Yeah, you see some of the highlights there.
That's so sick.
That was a good game. I played well that game, but yeah, it's just really cool. Purdue really means something to me. I really, love that community. I love my school. I love that program. Coach Painter, all of the people that helped me and my on the staff get to get me to a position where I could be a professional basketball player, because I didn't think I could do that when I stepped into college. So now being on that side of things on staff, it's really, really, it means a lot to me. It's really special. I'm able to help young athletes hopefully realize their goal of being a professional basketball player and try to win national championships and Big Ten championships. We're such a prestigious program that I want to do everything I possibly can to keep us at that level. So for myself, it's been really special so far, and I've really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. We've got the shot here, heard around the region from you, Sasha. Hit a super famous shot, maybe the most famous shot in Crown Point history in the 2017 sectionals against Valpo.
Yep.
We're going to show it here. I want you to run through what's going through your mind before, during, and after the play, if we can get it running here.
Sure. Well, firstly, when Coach Swan said in the timeout that you're going to get it and go and take the shot, I was like, well, we got some other good players on the team that I don't know if I should be the one taking the shot. But it was really cool. I was just able to get it on the run. Steve Helm, who was on Valpo, he hit a really tough and one floater in the lane to go up by 2, then he hit the free throw to go up by 3. So I knew once I got it, I knew I had to get a 3 up because we didn't have a lot of time. They decided not to foul in that situation. It's, coach by coach basis. If, you kind of have your own philosophy whether or not you're going to foul up 3 or you're just going to let somebody shoot it. But luckily for myself, I was able to kind of get to space and get to my right hand. And initially when I shot it, I used to say this all the time. Initially when I shot it, I thought I bricked it. I thought I airballed it. I was like, I turned around. I was so surprised that I actually made it.
It was a double clutch 3. That's
I thought Steve was going to swipe at that time too or foul me. So I made it, and I was so surprised. I just turned around. I started yelling at everybody. I saw the Valpo student section, so I just started screaming at them. They were the first people I saw. But it was really cool. That team was super special, and we ended up winning in double overtime that year. We went to the regional finals, so it was I had a lot of great teammates and great friends that, were on that team. And so we were able to do something pretty special and see this, our entire community come out and standing room only with people on these balconies and things like that. It was really cool.
Dude, I was in the building, and I was telling them before, it's probably the best moment in this gym.
Yeah,
because
cool.
I grew up, practicing my whole life in Crown Point thinking I got one of these moments. So I'm 4 years outside of high school, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Special night.
It was amazing.
Well, Alex, a little bit of a fun question for you. Since we just asked Sasha about his shot, if you go out to the baseball field right now, are you hitting a home run?
There's a slim to none chance. I think I had 2 home runs my senior year, and one of them was at Valpo, and they have their left field is 290, right? Which is basically that's a chip. That's easy, right? So no. But I'll tell you what, I will rip a ball to right center field. That I can promise you that. And you got a slim chance of getting me out of third.
You think you're getting the second there, standing up?
Easy to second. Yeah, third would be a good time.
Well, guys, we always ask our guests, our final question is picks for tonight's game, CP versus Penn to open the season. Who have we got here?
What would you think I'm going to say?
Yeah, right.
I'd probably lean Crown Point.
Bulldogs.
There's no doubt. Dogs by 20. Let's go.
Wow. Dogs by 20.
Right.
Repeat of last year. Okay,
Yeah,
I like it. I like the confidence.
The Bulldogs ended up winning by 20, 66-46 last year against these Penn Kingsmen. It has been a pleasure having you guys on. Alex Nikla, Sasha Stefanovic, thank you for being on the show. Stay with us here on Game Night. We're going to break down our keys to the game in our next segment.
At Crown Point High School, we are a connected community. The larger we grow, the stronger we become, because at our core are values that guide us.
What does it mean to be part of our Bulldog community?
It means courage, facing adversity head on, leading with grit, and knowing that every setback is a step forward.
Crown Point taught me not to be afraid to try something new.
It means creativity, from center stage to classroom labs. It is where passion meets purpose and innovation takes shape. Bulldogs bring ideas to life. It means citizenship, giving back, lifting others, building a stronger community together.
Our students learn that leadership begins with service.
It means culture, every story, every background, every voice, adding to our shared experience. It means being future ready, with more than 20 career pathways, 60 dual credit and AP courses, and preparation for college, career, or service.
I know Crown Point is helping me get where I want to go.
And through it all, we stay connected. With more than 75 clubs, sports, and activities, there's a place for everyone. Every classroom, every activity, every team. Woven together into one community. Crown Point High School, where the heart of a Bulldog stays with you, ready to take on the world. Connected at our core.
Welcome back to Game Night here on the Bulldog Network, presented by CPTV Sports. If you are just joining us, stick around because we are going to be broadcasting the CP versus Penn basketball game precisely at 6:30 p.m. But to finish off Game Night here, Cam, we have a few keys to the game. There's a lot of keys to this game. This is going to be a good one.
It's going to be one of the better ones of the season.
Alex Nicholas had 20 points. Coach Swan, and that's the head coach of our team, is saying that this is going to be a close game. So I think it's going to be a good one. And we're going to start with Dikembe Shaw. He's our senior, I guess we could say, star of this Crown Point team. He is dangerous, and it's going to be a tall task for this Penn team to contain him.
I mean, 100%. I'd say Dikembe is definitely one of the main offensive focuses of this Crown Point team. He's been here since his freshman year on varsity and has led this team in rebounding and just post points overall, and he's hard to contain.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall task. I also think that Dikembe not only is a scorer, but a facilitator. You know, if he comes inside and they trap him in there because they don't want Dikembe to score inside, he can dish out to Bryce Peters, Mason Darrell, whoever it may be. And I guess that we can shift into another key of the game. Mason Darrell shot 41% from three last year. He is the most dangerous three-point shooter by far on this Crown Point team. I believe the next one up is 29%. So Mason Darrell outshooting the second best three-point shooter by 12%. He's going to be dangerous. Dikembe is a facilitator as well.
What I will say, though, Gabe, is Mason Darrell is great. 41%, that's incredible. But that's also the same as Kuhlman shot last year, and that's Crown Point's, I think, biggest key to this game is being able to contain Kuhlman and being able to stop him just like they did in practice. And all the plays they were running, all the defensive schemes were to stop him from getting those open threes and getting those open lanes, because that's where he's going to kill you.
And that's what Coach Swan talked about in that practice you went to on Tuesday. You know, we have some mic'd video from him in our interview and our package that we had. Caleb Kuhlman, sophomore, he was a freshman last year, averaged nearly 20 points per game, and as Cam said, shot 41% from three, the same as Mason Darrell. He's going to be dangerous, and as you said, that's probably the biggest key to tonight's game, at least defensively for Crown Point.
100%. I mean, in the package, the clip of Swan that plays is him saying zip, 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 wide open 3. That's talking about the play that they allowed for Kuhlman, because they were running a 5-on-5 drill, just starting at the top of the key, and every single time there was almost a wide open 3 because they were failing to defend that, and Swan was adjusting, and eventually they shut it down every single time.
And on the topic of Caleb Kuhlman, he's 6'4" as a guard, sophomore by the way, so he's still going to grow. He's only going to get better from here. But that could be a problem, size could, for the Bulldogs. Kingston Rhodes is the guard. He's probably going to be matched up on Kuhlman. Even if you match up a guy like Peters, may not be as quick as Kuhlman. Could you see size being a problem here tonight?
Oh, easily. I mean, Kingston and Caden, for that matter, are both 5'9". Mm-hmm. And against a 6'4" guard, that's super hard to defend. He can just outstrength you, and it might outspeed you, too, if you're too quick on the jump to try and get a steal. It's going to be a rough matchup.
Now, we were talking about the Kembe being a facilitator. If Penn stops him going inside and he has to dish out to Bryce Peters, Mason Darrell, whoever it may be, could Crown Point try and do the same, just contain Kuhlman? You're not going to stop him, but can you contain him, make him go inside, and kick it out? Do you think rely on his other teammates?
Well, at the end, it depends what kind of defense they run. You know, if they run a two-man pinch like they've been running, pinch him in the corner like they were practicing, and try and get him to force the ball out and get him to make a bad pass and get a turnover, that's going to be the way to do it. Or they run just a simple man and hope the fill in the lane keeps him from either getting fouled and not making the shot.
And, on the topic of turnovers, I think that could be what determines this game. Whenever you have a close matchup, and really in any sport, but especially football and basketball, it's about turnovers. Who wins the turnover battle? I could see, Cam, if Penn wins this turnover battle, I would say Crown Point has a slight edge in tonight's game as maybe a favorite. But if Penn wins the turnover battle, they could come in here and steal one to open the season.
I'd say it's turnovers and then also fundamentals and not making those dumb mistakes. Mm-hmm. It's the simple mistakes of, like, at the girls' game that me and Brandon did last week, there were double dribbles, there were travels. It's those types of mistakes that are turnovers that make you lose the game.
Yeah, they got to keep everything. Game's got to be smooth. It's an out-of-conference opponent to start the season. It's going to be a tough one here for Crown Point. It's going to be a good one, so stay with us. We're going to go to our broadcast live at 6:30 p.m. of Penn versus CP. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes working here on game night. I'm Gabe Trevino. He is Cameron Qualls. We will see you at 6:30 p.m. for Penn versus CP.
better get off my track. Yeah, in the big leagues, now it's a fact. Can't take you seriously. Think that you wanna go? Can't catch me too slow. Look, now I'm on a roll. All you can say is blah 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 blah. Look, now I'm on a roll. Blah 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 blah. All I hear is blah blah blah.
Welcome to CP versus Penn. We just finished up game night here. We're about to get into a good one, CP versus Penn, here at 6:30 p.m. Just getting ready for tip-off. Cam, we had Alex Nicola and Sasha Stefanovic on our pregame show. Two excellent guests. I mean, they were just such cool guys. And Sasha Stefanovic, we ran over that shot with him, what he was thinking during the shot. He kind of gave us a play-by-play through that shot. Excellent group of guests.
Yeah, maybe he should be up here commentating instead of us.
Yeah, that was good. He gave us a little breakthrough. He's now at Purdue as the assistant coach. He played basketball at Purdue. And we had a Swan package, a Swan interview that we got to sit down with him earlier in the week. We're going to air that during halftime for you guys to see. We think it's a good one. It can give you a little preview into what the season's going to be, his 20th season here at Crown Point. I still can't believe that. 20 seasons for him, 28th season coaching total, 20th here at Crown Point. It's been a great career for him.
Oh, 100%. And, I mean, it shows, 20 years, over 2 times as long as his last tenure. He's committed to this team. He wants to bring that ever-coveted state championship to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and Bryce Peters, the Kembe Shaw, Mason Darrell, 3 other seniors on this team, 6 seniors total. That would be a great way to send this group off. And then, of course, we finished off game night with our keys to the game. There's a lot of them, but I think the main one we can take away is Dikembe Shaw, Penn, they have to contain him. Mason Darrell, 3-point shooting, and for Crown Point, at least defensively, Caleb Kuhlman. That is the problem they have to worry about.
He's the biggest problem, and I'd say he was even last year as a freshman. Averaged 20 points last year, 41% from 3. Let me let that roll off at 41% from 3. Absolutely ridiculous. They need to find a way, like I was talking about during the pregame show. They do the defense they've been doing, 2-man pinch, get him to force the ball out, get him in those tough spots where he has to throw up a tough shot that's not as hard to make, or he's got to throw a pass that might be intercepted.
Yeah, and we also said he's 6'4". By the way, I just want to say for the viewers at home, Stephen Curry, the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, also shoots in the 40% range from 3 again. High school basketball compared to NBA basketball.
The 3-point line's a little closer.
Really big difference, but that's to say 41%. I mean, so think of it as every 10 shots he's making at least 4 of them, if not more. Every 10 3-point shots he's making 4 or more. It's going to be a big threat. And size disparity between Kingston Rhodes and Caleb Kuhlman, both of the Rhodes brothers who come in and out of the game, standing at only 5'9", guarding a 6'4" guard. It's
going to be interesting to watch. I mean, Kingston and Caden are both great. They're great on-ball defenders. Because they're small, they're fast. They're able to get under the offensive player, get the ball, everything like that. It's a really interesting matchup to see. And I think the fact that Caleb Kuhlman can maybe get some post work in on these guys and outsize them. Kingston and Caden, no doubt in my mind, could 100% outspeed them, but Caleb is going to outstrength them and maybe outskill them.
Yeah, and we also said, contain Caleb. If you force him inside, he might have to kick out to other players. Penn can do the same thing for Kembe Shaw. Force him inside. Kembe's a great facilitator, but you don't want to let him score, 30 points on the inside.
Right, and the big thing you want to be careful of is not making sure you don't foul him, but most of all, not making sure you give him enough space to get that and-one.
Yeah, well, Crown Point versus Penn, this is going to be a good one. Crown Point Bulldogs defeated the Penn Kingsmen last year by 20 points, 66-46. Talking to Coach Swan throughout the week, and you went to practice on Tuesday.
Yes,
this is going to be a good one. It's going to be a close one. Hopefully, for our sake, good broadcast, it will be a closer one than last year. So stay with us here. Crown Point versus Penn next.
Hey, Indiana. Let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, text official to 317.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better everyday after. It's the first day in your new career, your first pay raise, the 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment, much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Network. CP versus Penn, getting you folks at home ready for tip-off here of the season opener of the Crown Point Bulldogs. It's an out-of-conference matchup, the Penn Kingsmen and the Crown Point Bulldogs. And Cam, just to kind of reiterate what we were saying when we came back briefly going in our pregame show. And by the way, folks at home, we will air our Clint Swan interview package for you at halftime. We think it's a good one. We hope that you enjoy it. We got a chance to sit down with him. It's kind of unique. It's a unique opportunity. We understand it's a privilege to sit down with the head coach of a really good basketball program and ask him these kinds of questions. Ask him what's the season going to be like. There's a lot of hype behind this team, a lot of really good seniors on this team. Bryce Peters, Mason Darrell, Dikembe Shaw, just to name a few of the main three. It's going to be a good season for this Crown Point Bulldog team.
Oh, 100%. I mean, to get so close last year, we've said it already, but to get to that night game, and then now you have a team that's arguably better than they were last year with the increased development of all the seniors and the only sophomore on the team, MJ Wilson. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a great season for the Bulldogs, and it's going to be fun to see how they perform against these higher-level teams like Penn.
Yeah, and we know that DAC in football is not so strong, but in basketball it's a different story. There's a few teams in the DAC. I think Valpo could give Crown Point a run for their money. Maryville, it seems to always be close, as in football as well. It's going to be a tougher season for this Bulldog team because now they have that target on their back. They were ranked by the Indy Star second in Indiana, only behind Fishers, who they lost to last year in the semi-state night game. They have a target on their back. It's going to be a battle, I think, every night for this Crown Point team.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they also have kind of an underdog mentality, though. They're now the second-ranked team, only behind the team that beat them last year in semi-state. It's definitely a chip on your shoulder and a way for them to use that as motivation to get to that championship this year.
And by the way, Dikembe Shaw, we have heard word, and I've also just seen him in the hallways. He looks so much bigger. I mean, we don't know how much muscle he's gained, but he's probably looking 5 to 10 pounds heavier in terms of just muscle mass.
100%.
He looks a lot bigger this year. He's going to be dangerous.
And I want to mention something a little bit. I know it's just a roster, so it's a little different, but Dikembe Shaw on this roster is listed as a guard/forward, and I think that's definitely something interesting.
Yeah, and he's more than he's a forward, and if he's a guard, he's one of the biggest guards we've ever seen at 6'7". As we get
LaMelo Ball,
underway.
6'7".
Yeah, well, that's an NBA guy. Kembe Shaw, really talented. I don't know if he's there yet. We get you tipped off here, CP versus Penn, and Penn will get the first bucket of the night here by Lucas Obermeyer. Kingston Rhodes, the guard, bringing it up to Kembe Shaw, immediately pressured. Over to Bryce Peters, the Maryville transfer from last year. A deep three from Mason Darrell off the back rim. And they're going to say that went over the backboard, so it'll be Penn basketball, 2-0 early in the first.
Now, what I will say, even though he missed the shot, what I do love about Mason is his pure confidence. I mean, this kid will shoot the ball from anywhere, anytime, and won't let him miss dwindle his confidence at all. And that's the type of player you need on your team.
From the logo, right? The little bulldog foot right there.
That was an NBA three, 100%.
Yeah. Benjamin Murphy brings it up the court, gets right down into the lane. Cooper Mulaski, who is a starting quarterback on the varsity football team. A carry is called. He is now a starter here on this Crown Point team, along with Kingston Rhodes, Bryce Peters, Dikembe Shaw, and Mason Darrell. Murphy putting pressure on Rhodes as he comes up the court. Darrell back to Rhodes. Darrell gives it to Peters here on the left wing. Peters trying to get something to go here. He's being denied his right hand, tries to get around Obermeyer. Wide open three from Mason Darrell, no good. Rebound to Kuhlman, who I guess we can say is our key player of the game, at least for the Penn Kingsmen. They're going to get it to him here in the corner. Gets double teamed quick. Mason Darrell takes him on. Mulaski inside, trying to get in on Murphy. Wow. And that one's good. Excuse me, that's Christian Bonner on the inside, 4-0 Penn.
And that's a great move against the second tallest guy on this team. That's an incredible way to outstrength him, even though he was the smaller player. Bonner, great way to get that basket. I also want to say, you see on the corner how they pinched? Exactly what I was talking about during the pregame. That's what they're going to do to stop Penn and make them pass out. He passed out. Even though they got the bucket, they still stopped the perimeter shot.
And a travel is called on Bryce Peters. So Penn with the early advantage here about 2 minutes in, up 4-0. And, Cam, you heard about that in Tuesday's practice. They're going to try and pinch Kuhlman. They did just that down there in the corner, as you were explaining.
Now, that was a turnover that I was talking about, is one of those turnovers that's going to cost you the game. They keep stacking up. They might be little in the moment, but if they keep stacking up, it's not going to end well. And the points are going to start climbing, and the lead's going to get bigger.
So Ben Murphy is going to be assigned on Kingston Rhodes. We said size could be one of the keys of the game, but Bryce Peters is actually going to be guarding Caleb Kuhlman tonight while Murphy is on Rhodes. Rhodes tries to go for a steal. Murphy puts up a shot. That one's tipped, blocked by Rhodes. Inside, and that one's good. Right on Mulaski by McKelly Price.
I mean, 6-0 start for the Kingsmen, all in post. It's interesting. I did not expect them to come out and just, really hit the post game. I expected them to go more perimeter, but hey.
They're coming out quick, and it looks like Candy's Penn Kingsmen are trying. Another carry is called. Darrell sinks that three, but Peters is called.
Of course, the 1-3 he makes is called back.
Yeah,
but now he's starting to get in the flow. Now he can get in the flow. He made one after missing his first two, even though it didn't count. Let's see if he can use that and get in the flow and put some points on the board.
I noticed on defense, Penn is denying Crown Point from going to the right hand. Maybe that's in their game plan because, everybody on this team is a right-hander. As Kuhlman nails a three right in Peters' face, and he lets out a roar. And Coach Swan is forced to use his first timeout. What a start for the Penn Kingsmen, up 9-0. Just under 3 minutes into the game. What a start.
That shot by Kuhlman was amazing. He just dribbled with his right hand a couple steps and took almost a fadeaway three from, I'd say, about 25 feet out, and just completely nothing but nylon. That's the kind of play that the Bulldogs need to stop if they're going to win this game.
So 2 minutes and 49 seconds in, the Penn Kingsmen are up 9-0, and Cam, this is kind of the game we predicted. Alex Nicola, our guest on Game Night, said Crown Point win by 20. We're only 3 minutes in, but a really hot start by this Penn team. They came out of the gate firing.
Now I can almost tell you exactly what Swan's telling his kids right now. He's telling them, hey, look, they got out to a hot start. Basketball is a game of runs. Let's get on our own run and relax a little bit because we're tensed up, and we just need to stop Penn, get some good stops, and get some easy buckets, and then we get back into this game.
We've seen Crown Point in these situations. One of them, actually, I was at courtside, weren't broadcasting, but it was against Portage, the regional championship last year in Michigan City. Crown Point was down late in the game to Dikembe Shaw, had to rely on him. And they came back and ended up winning. Season opener here against Penn. Mulaski nearly loses it. Lobs it up to Dikembe, being pressured a lot here by Obermeyer. Denying him to his right. Shaw almost loses his dribble. Now trying to go baseline. Mulaski in his way. Kicks it out to Darrell. Darrell drives. Peters, an open three. Is good.
There we go. That's some offense. That's some great offense. Dikembe passed it to Mason Noon as a wide open lane. He drives in, gets the defense to pull in a little bit, and then Bryce rotates out to the corner wide open every time.
So the first basket of the night goes to the former Maryville, or the Maryville transfer on this team, and a foul is called inside. It's a charge. Cooper Mulaski takes a hit on the inside.
And that's the type of play. Early. That's the kind of play that's going to get the bench hyped up, as you just heard. You know, you put your body on the line to get the ball on your side. It's a really selfless moment in the game of basketball.
So Kingston Rhodes, again, you see being denied his right here by Benjamin Murphy, the senior guard who stands only an inch shorter than Rhodes at 5'8". Darrell to the corner, swinging it around. Rhodes tries to go inside. Cooper Mulaski a three. That one's good.
Now look at that offense. That is beautiful, picture-perfect offense. Mason has a beautiful swing pass, and then Dikembe, Bryce, all the way to Cooper, and Cooper just bangs in a three. That was some beautiful Swan basketball right there, Gabe.
So 9-6, the Bulldogs on a 6-0 run after 2 threes from Bryce Peters and Cooper Mulaski, trying to get the crowd involved early. Murphy brings this one up to get it to Coolman immediately, trying to get inside. He's going to get that one swatted away by Mulaski. Mulaski lets out a little bit of a yell towards Coolman's area.
Hey, and exactly what I was saying. Basketball is a game of runs. You hear it since you were a kid. Basketball is a game of runs, and now Crown Point's on their run. Got 6 points on the board, now score 6-9. This is the type of run they need to get back into this game and get the lead by the end of the first quarter.
Brock Coolman is the Penn head coach, and Clint Swan, of course, the Crown Point head coach we had the privilege of sitting down and talking to earlier in the week. Coolman's going to get the ball immediately here. They're trapping him in the corner, as you said, Cam. He's going to try a three right into Kembe's face. That one's no good. Mulaski on the ground, hustling for a rebound. And a jump ball will be called on the floor.
And it looks like it'll be Crown Point ball. I mean, Cooper did a great job of diving on the ground and getting at least his arm in there to really try and get that ball back. It was a jump ball, but it's Crown Point possession anyway. Really great show of strength and just discipline from Cooper Mulaski.
3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Darrell gets it on the wing. Seems to be his favorite place to shoot. Stolen away by Obermeyer. Just kind of handed it to him there, and Obermeyer swatted it out of his hands. Three is up. No good. Mulaski Shaw battling over that rebound. Shaw comes away with it. Peters brings it up. 1-on-1. Drives. Kicks it out. Kingston Rhodes a three. That one's good, too. 3 for 3 to start for the Bulldogs, and we have a tie game at 9.
What a shot. Kingston Rhodes, recently offered by Manchester, that was a great three. He didn't, there's this badge in 2K, Gabe. It's called blinders, which is that your player doesn't worry about the defenders coming at him from the side, only the one in front of him, and that's exactly what just happened. He didn't care about the defender on the side of him. He just shot the ball like he wasn't even there.
Cody Evans, the 6'7" forward, checks into the game for the Kingsmen. Coolman waiting for a screen to come from Price. Coolman drives in on Peters. Nothing there. Back out. A three from Evans, who just checked in, an air ball. Murphy, the shortest man on the court, gets in there on the rebound. Ball's on the ground. Peters comes away with it. Here he goes. 1-on-1 on the break. He goes up and misses the layup. Evans comes away with the rebound and gets it right to Murphy, and Mason Darrell called for a foul. Was there a little bit early.
That's a tough miss for the Bulldogs. I mean, Bryce Peters, it kind of looked like he misstepped a little bit on that layup. And now MJ Wilson will come in
to see this guy
for
play.
Mason Darrell for the first time of us seeing him this year. Definitely excited to see the development.
Yeah, MJ Wilson, I mean, he was on the varsity team, did not get much playing time.
3 minutes.
But he seems to have grown a lot in the offseason. I've seen him play and practice a few times and just seen him out in public before. I've played with some of his friends, and man, he's hyper athletic, to say the least.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he's top 10 in Indiana for class of 28.
Yeah.
Like, that's that's incredible.
Excited to see him play. 3 is up and good. Caleb Coleman nails a 3 right in Reed Kage's face, who just checked in. He goes over to Coach Swan and says, "What do you want me to do?"
And, it was such a clean swish that the net got wrapped around the hoop. And that's the second time that's happened. Once on the Bulldogs side, but now on the Penn side. I mean, it's just, ooh.
Rhodes drives. That layup's no good. And Mikkel Burton comes away with the rebound. Now he's going to go right down the lane. No one there. A little floater is off the back rim. No good. MJ Wilson tries to come away with it, picks it up off the floor.
I've seen this strategy before with tinier guards and big men. So he was going to the lane. Dikembe was in the lane, and it looked like he was just going to swat him. But you know what he did? He didn't jump. He stopped. He made him overthink it, and he missed the wide open layup.
Dikembe's right there. That's a big man coming across against trying to get a layup on. And
Definitely.
like you said, maybe got a little bit scared there seeing Dikembe's slender yet also big frame.
And they put Christian Bonner back in against Dikembe, who already kind of bodied him and Mulaski earlier in this game, scoring the first 6 points of this game.
Wilson drives down the left lane. He's going to put that one up. He's fouled, so he will get 2 free throws here with the Kingsmen up 12-9. If you're just joining us here on the Bulldog Network, I am Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls. Crown Point versus Penn to open the season for these Bulldogs. MJ Wilson, the sophomore, at the line. His first free throw is good.
And I mean, for a player like MJ, these are just, you do these every day. It's like some Sunday morning eggs. It's just it's routine. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, free throws. You have a routine at the free throw line, right?
Every time.
A few dribbles, maybe you spin the ball. I like to spin the ball a few times before I shoot a free throw. Of course, if that's when the game's serious. MJ misses his second 3.
I jinxed it.
Tried to get there. Maybe he did. Yeah, there is an announcer jinx. That does exist, so maybe we were part of that. So Benjamin Murphy is going to be guarded here by MJ Wilson. Maybe a possible mismatch here. Wilson gets right up on him, trying to reach for the ball. Murphy gets it to his man Kuhlman, and this is the dangerous. Now Caden Rhodes is going to guard him.
This is the matchup we talked about.
This is the matchup. Caden Rhodes gets blown by. Dikembe nearly steals that one, got a hand on it,
and
goes out of bounds.
Great defense, honestly, by Caden to force him to his left hand. Now, he's pretty comfortable with both, but if there's anyone that he's not, it's his left. He goes to his left, can't find a good lane for a shot with Dikembe in the middle, so he goes to pass it, and Dikembe, seeing that, immediately goes to the corner where his eyes are and gets the tip on the ball. Great play.
Trying to come around a screen. It goes off of his hands. No foul is called.
Looks like he might have slipped there, Gabe.
He might have slipped. MJ Wilson switched on him there for a brief moment. And now Caden Rhodes, twin brother of Kingston Rhodes, will bring the ball up for the Bulldogs.
And Swan screaming plays from the bench.
And by the way, the Dikembe Shaw and Caleb Coleman now matched up. Coleman switches over to Rhodes now. Jack Lux, another one of the seniors on this team, gets the ball. Layup is good by Caden Rhodes. A lot of contact. And kind of ran into Cody Evans trying to inbound the ball. Coach Kuhlman for Penn not happy with that one. Came out a few steps out onto the court.
Looks like it's going to be a warning.
It looked unintentional, but he did.
Kuhlman wanted the tech.
Yeah. So Caden Rhodes immediately gets in the game and scores a tough layup through contact, through traffic. And now under a minute to play here. Tie game at 12. A good one here. Crown Point versus Penn. Benjamin Murphy again brings it up. 30 seconds to go. Kuhlman now matched up on Peters. Waiting for some action to happen off the ball. Cody Evans trying to get inside on MJ Wilson. Foul is called.
I mean, if I want to say, I think Penn's going to hold this for the last shot, or at least try to. They're just going to pass the ball around and eventually get it to Kuhlman for that last shot. Because, I mean, it's pretty obvious why. He's their most consistent, their best shooter, and he can shoot off of dribbles. He can shoot standing. He can do it all.
Lucas Obermeyer checks in for Benjamin Murphy for these final 20 or so seconds. Now Caleb Kuhlman will bring this one up. Peters trying to get a hand out there, make him feel a little bit uncomfortable. He's going to get a Bonner screen. Mulaski switches on him for a brief moment. 9 seconds to go. Coolman waiting for something to happen. Byron's going to come set another screen. 3 seconds to go. He's going to put up a three right in Mulaski's face. No good. Mulaski with the rebound, and that will do it for the first quarter. The Penn Kingsmen and the Crown Point Bulldogs tied after one at 12. Cam, we have got a good one.
And what I will say, Gabe, is that in the first little bit of that quarter, didn't do a good job of containing Coolman, but then towards the second half, they did a really good job of containing Coolman. And now with more from the sideline is Ari Pantoja.
It seems like a lot of home opening night jitters to me, guys. It took CP almost half the first quarter to score their points after Penn State, the game on 9 run. A few turnovers and clunky hands, but they seem to have settled in CP's coach. Clint Swan called for an early timeout, and for what appears will be a good night tonight.
Thank you so much, Ari.
Thank you to our silent reporter, Ariana Pantoja, down there on the court. 12-12 is the score after one. A good out-of-conference matchup. If you were just joining us here on the Bulldog Network, I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls. Out-of-conference matchup to start the season here for the Bulldogs. A season with a lot of hype behind it. Ranked the number 2 in the state, only behind Fishers, who is ranked, I believe, top 10 nationally.
That's
that's
insane for an Indiana team. I know Indiana's known for basketball, but that's still an amazing feat for an Indiana team.
Usually you see those teams from California, Texas, Florida.
All the prep
They're always
schools.
in there.
But I will say, this is the close game that we wanted it to be. You know, tie game after one, pretty low scoring as well.
Yeah.
It's just all about defense.
Is that surprising? I feel like it's a little surprising that it's this low scoring. I mean, 24 total points after one quarter.
I'd say
it'd be high scoring.
I mean, both these teams are playing so hard on both ends. It's not just offensively. So I don't think it's surprising. I think it's just a show of good play and a good rivalry.
It's Kayla Martinez checking in for the second quarter for the Penn Kingsmen. Obermeyer gets away from Darrell. Bonner trying to point out something on the offense. Kingston Rhodes gets his hand in there, and a foul is called on Mason Darrell reaching in on Obermeyer. And the Kingsmen will have it underneath.
I mean, good attempt. What I will say is that I'm a little disappointed Kingston didn't follow through on that steal. He kind of poked the ball and then just walked away from it and waited and tried to get Mason to get it and pass it up for the easy bucket. But I wish he followed through with it, but it was still not a bad play.
Mason Darrell just checked off the court, and he went right into the locker room. That's a story to follow. We'll try and get some more on that. Story to follow definitely, though. Caleb Coleman misses a three underneath. Offensive rebound from Michaela Price. Lays it in. Penn has a lead once again. MJ Wilson back in the game for the Bulldogs. Bryce Peters again being guarded by Coleman, being denied his right once again. Cam's things that we've seen so far. And maybe it's working. Ball flies out of bounds.
And that's another one of those turnovers that's just so easy. It's easy to do, but it's something that they train over and over again to, to their best ability, keep it from happening. It's very scary. And I see Mason Darrell back on the bench.
So that is good news if you're a Crown Point fan sitting at home. MJ Wilson 4 against 4 here. Coleman trying to get inside, and they're going to call up in now a little carry here.
Third of the game. Third of the game. Very, a carry is one of those calls you don't see too often in basketball games, especially at the higher level. But 3 carries in a quarter in 2 minutes, that's surprising for me.
Kingston Rhodes back in the game, checking in for his twin brother at guard. Mulaski being pressured by Obermeyer. Has the Kemba Shaw waiting right there for him. Gets a screen, now tries to get around Obermeyer. Bounces off of him, a 3 from him is no good. Martinez comes away with the rebound.
I'm honestly surprised that was a shot by Dikembe. I mean, he's a big. I'd expect him to rotate around and kind of get in the post, but no, he is not afraid to shoot the ball.
Michaela Price there gave Dikembe Shaw a little shrug there, gave him a little push after Kembe tried to swat the ball out of his hands after the whistle was blown.
I mean, it's classic. It's classic rivalry team bickering. It's going to happen. It's part of the game, and it's part of why this game is so close.
These two teams have met in the sectional and the regional championship a lot in football in the last few years, and Crown Point lost in the regional championship this year to Penn. for football.
As a shooting
little
foul
rivalry
by MJ Wilson on Kuhlman. That's rough. I mean, Kuhlman, if he shoots free throws as well as he shoots threes.
He shot 89%
So
from
the
the
end.
line.
So yeah, okay.
So more than likely he will make both of his free throws here. Makes the first one. Penn back out to a 3-point lead. And if you're Coach Swan out there, you're wondering, man, this might be close. I mean, the feeling we were getting from Swan is we're going to win, but it's going to be close. I mean, right now, Penn just looks like the faster, more explosive team. Dikembe Shaw really has not gotten involved at all.
You know what? I'll add on to that. They look like the faster team. They look like the more explosive team, but they look like the more confident team.
Right.
I mean, they walked into a packed Bulldog Stadium and are just – they're not mopping the floor, but they're playing really well.
Tough layup there by Dikembe Shaw through traffic. No good. He remains with no points. And that one's to Murphy, barely. Got a hold of that one from Burton. And Burton will settle it back out here with just under 6 minutes to go. Kingston Rhodes giving the assignment on him. Burton kicks this one out to Murphy again. Reed Kagi is in guarding him. Bonner underneath. Back out to Murphy.
Oh, what beautiful ball movement from Penn right now. Just, beautiful ball movement and beautiful defense from Crown Point.
Inside off the bottom of the backboard. Here comes Dikembe Shaw. Shaw is going to drive inside. Foul is called. Tried to hit a Euro step. Murphy was right there with him.
Now, I'll be so honest with you, Gabe. I think it was clean, but I'm not going to say anything.
It did look clean. He got stripped the ball right out of Dikembe's hands. So Dikembe will be going to the line.
Jack Lux ready to sub in for the Bulldogs.
For his first 2 free throws. Possibly his first point of the night of his senior season. And that one is good. He is committed to the University of Illinois Chicago, UIC. Congratulations to him. And their other D1 commit to Bellarmine is Mason Darrell, who is sitting on the bench for right now.
And it's great to see as a senior, seeing these kids that I basically grew up with get these big college offers. It's really something special. And
to see all their work paid off.
Yeah, I'm proud of these guys, 100%.
Yeah.
Went to school with both Mason and Dikembe through middle school. It's great to see how they've grown and shaped up as players.
Mikel Burton tries to get it inside the Bonner. Foul is called. Swan puts his hands on his head. Does not like that call.
That's 3 fouls in a row.
Yeah, and he's kind of looking up at the scoreboard saying, who do I get in now?
Well, the bonus is approaching.
It is.
Almost in the bonus for both teams. And once that happens, the points are going to start stacking up quick.
Obermeyer drives right in on Jack Lux. Reed Kagi out on Bonner. Bonner backing him down, now stops, gives it right back to Burton. Rhodes denying his right hand, and a foul is called underneath. Some of the guys on the bench wanted.
Looked like he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, on Burton. And by the way, Caleb Kuhlman
and now
is out
Penn,
of the game right now.
And now Penn's in the bonus. That's a problem.
And that is a problem. But and now Caleb Kuhlman's coming to the scorers table. Crown Point did not take advantage of Caleb Kuhlman being out of this game. He's probably going to be in this game the rest of the way. And they didn't take advantage of that. He's going to check back in this time for Obermeyer.
But they do put back in Cooper Molaski.
And Molaski comes in maybe to counter some of that size. Christian Bonner nails his first free throw. And his second free throw, a lefty by the way, is no good off the back iron. Kingston Rhodes comes away with the rebound. A little bit of an advantage here. Here comes Molaski, goes up and lays it in.
I thought he was going to dunk it right there, and I got really excited. But I'll take a contested layup any day. And that was a great layup. You had 2 guys trailing behind him. He didn't hesitate. If he misses it, he's going to get fouled most likely. So good take by Cooper.
Good bucket from Cooper Molaski. He's got 5 so far tonight. Burton falls over. No fouls called. Jack Lux comes away with it. He's going to get it up to Kingston Rhodes. Rhodes from the corner is good.
So Jack Lux double dribbled, but it's part of the game. Refs have angles, and that wasn't one of them.
The whole Penn bench got up
and the whole Penn student section
wanted a double dribble there. Kuhlman, foul is called on Dikembe Shaw reaching in to try and steal
ball does
it.
not lie.
First lead of the night for the Crown Point Bulldogs, 19-17. with 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
You know, not much action from Dikembe tonight so far. Only 2 points. It's not a very active night so far, but the game is still very young, and we'll see how he shapes up the rest of this game.
Coleman nails his first free throw, trying to tie this one up with this free throw. Cody Evans to check back in. Jack Lux comes away with the rebound off the missed free throw from Coleman, which is pretty rare. We're not going to see that a lot. Rhodes to Shaw, double team on the wing. He's going to try a three, and it is good. Can they get Dikembe Shaw rolling? There's his first three of the night.
I guess he must be a guard. He can just hit that with 2 guys right on. I mean, that was a great shot by Dikembe. Nothing but net. 2 guys defending him. They were a little off, but still. That's a great shot by the power forward.
Inside. That one is good. Good response from Christian Bonner right in on Dikembe Shaw. 22-20 Crown Point lead.
And I'm looking at Jack in the corner.
3 minutes to go. Lux comes around to the other side of the court. Peters directing him around. Rhodes comes to his right, back to his left, crosses back over right to Shaw on the wing. A little move on Coleman, drives in, puts up a shot. No foul is called. Shot is no good. And Burton will slow things down for the Kingsmen, trying to get directions from his coaches. Right behind him, Coleman to the corner, Molaski. And that one's going to be batted around. Bonner is going to go off him, so the Bulldogs will retain possession.
There we go. First lead of the game for the Bulldogs. This is what you need, and you need to capitalize on this as Penn calls a timeout.
So Penn calls, their first timeout of the game. Crown Point with the lead, 22-20. A little run here. There was some Penn scoring, but a little bit of a run here from Crown Point, and they have
I will say, smart move by Coach Kuhlman, right? They get the lead, and now they're in a run, but you call a timeout, and you really get them to, slow down and decompress a little, not be in that mode, and it normally causes some turnovers and a run on the other side.
Cam, I must say about this Crown Point Gymnasium, there's a much bigger student section than I thought there would be. I mean, maybe I shouldn't doubt our fellow students, but I thought Saturday night, people are probably out with their friends. Maybe it's, people are out with their friends, they're coming to the game.
Yeah.
But a good showing here from all the Crown Point fans.
Definitely. I see some student section leaders, and I see a Purdue jersey in there, so Sasha will be happy with that. But, I mean, this is one of the biggest games of the year. And
to open the game.
Yeah, to open the season.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that they're here, and it's good to see the support, and you can hear the uproar whenever Crown Point makes a good play.
Sasha Stefanovic in attendance here tonight. He was just on our pregame show, Game Night. And, of course, Alex Nicola as well, who's also in attendance. Sasha Stefanovic, former CP basketball player, most known for the shot heard around the region. That is a really cool name for that shot.
That is a really cool name.
Bryce Peters wide open from 3, and he nails that one. And kind of celebrates there in Michaela Price's face.
I want to say they've hit like 3 threes from that spot, and they've been wide open every time.
Yeah, Peters was left probably the most wide open we've seen tonight.
He had plenty of time to set himself. But what I've noticed is that sometimes on those shots, you don't want to set yourself. You just want to get into a rhythm and shoot, because if you take too long to think about it, you're going to overshoot, you're going to undershoot because you overthink it. And that's exactly what the defenders want, is for you to overthink the shot.
Dikembe Shaw, a little pump fake, drives in. Ooh, takes a hard fall. He got tripped there. Coleman and Murphy checking on him. He comes up.
That looks bad.
A little bit of a scare there. Murphy, by the way, a really good layup. He kind of got underneath Molaski there, laid it in with the left hand. Lead cut down the 3, but Dikembe Shaw goes to the line.
I'll give credit where credit is due, even though it's a really tight game. Murphy and Kuhlman show great sportsmanship, going and checking on Dikembe, trying to help him up. That's really good to see.
A little bit of a scary tumble. Took a hard hit down to the floor. I mean, he's a big guy, so I think the whole stadium might have heard that crash. Second free throw is no good. Kuhlman's going to go right at Peters. Now Murphy, a wide open 3, and that one's good. Lead cut back down to 1.
And again, the net is wrapped around the rim.
Oh, no timeout. Just going to get the net
and
unwrapped.
Penn is fired up right now after that three-pointer. 1-point game right now. Let's see what Penn does here defensively.
Coach Brock Coolman getting the bench going, getting his players going on the court. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Rhodes being pressured by Murphy, gets it to Peters. Peters tries to get inside. There's nothing there. Good defense here from the Kingsmen. Peters, a deep three from nearly out of bounds. Caleb Coolman comes away with the rebound, gets it out to Murphy, and Murphy throws it away. Obermeyer was there, but Murphy throws the ball away. 1.5 minutes to go here.
And there's a careless turnover, this time on Penn's side. Haven't seen one of those from them this game, but hey, Crown Point's putting the pressure on, and maybe this is the time that Penn starts making those mistakes.
Kembe Shaw being guarded by Obermeyer, who's put on pressure all night so far. Shaw trying to get inside. A tough fadeaway jumper, no good. Rhodes got in there, tipped the ball, and it goes off Evans' head. So it's going to be Crown Point basketball.
And, you know, I saw Dikembe on Tuesday practicing those shots fairly often during the 5-on-5. And that's a shot that he knows he can make. And next time, I bet you he will.
Peters again gets the ball on the wing. Seems to be his favorite spot. Trying to get something to go here. Gets it to Rhodes. Rhodes back to Peters at the logo. Coolman again denying the right hand. Here goes Rhodes. A tough layup in and out. Cody Evans comes away with it.
Just a little too much spin on that ball.
Coolman comes down the lane. Coolman misses the left-handed layup. Shaw tries to come away with it, but it'll be Penn basketball underneath.
Yeah, I mean, this is a physical game. And it's very cool to see the refs kind of letting them play. I know there's been a lot of fouls called, but they're also letting them play. I mean, Dikembe in the post was putting his arm into the guy and really trying to get space, and the ref was just letting him play.
48 seconds to go and running. Murphy to the corner. Cody Evans, a wide open three. That one's no good. Price gets in there, nearly got the follow back. Here comes Peters.
MJ
Peters
wide open in the corner.
Drives in, lays it up, no good. MJ Wilson right there with the follow, no good. And a foul is called, and Wilson, I believe, will be going to the line for 2.
Second time this game. He's good at drawing those fouls, and that one on a putback. You know, great read by MJ. Came from the corner, ran all the way up like Dennis Rodman, and just grabbed the ball and tried to put it back up and ended up drawing the foul.
Wilson will rattle in his first free throw. Brings the lead back up to 2. 27-25 Crown Point lead. If you're just joining us here on the Bulldog Network, I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls. The Crown Point Bulldogs and the Penn Kingsmen. MJ Wilson's second free throw is good. 28-25 lead for the Bulldogs here as we run down the last 30 seconds of the first half. Coolman will bring it up for the Kingsmen.
No, Gabe, you think they're just going to hold it this time, or are they going to? It looks like they're running something.
Here goes Coolman inside, left-handed layup, falls on the floor, gets it to go. 15 seconds to go. Maybe the Bulldogs hold this one out. Swan getting a play in from the sideline. Rhodes just dribbling on Murphy. 7 seconds to go. They got to get going here. 5 seconds to go. Rhodes drives, little free throw line jumper off the glass, no good. Kagi the follow, no good. And Coolman comes away with the rebound. And we have a good one here in Crown Point, 28-27. Crown Point leads by 1 after 2. At halftime, the Bulldogs lead by 1. We have a great out-of-conference season opener here. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls.
I mean, this is the close game that we wanted. This is the close game that we were talking about before. You know, great offense on both sides, great defense on both sides. This is exactly what we are looking for, one of the highest anticipated matches of the year. I keep saying it, but I'm going to say it again. This is going to be one of, if not the best games of the year.
Yeah, and this is only the season opener, but this is an out-of-conference matchup against a much-improved Penn team. This Crown Point team beat this, well, not the same Penn team, but they beat them by 20 last year to open the season as well. But this game is a lot closer, not as high scoring.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the defense of this game has been absolutely incredible.
We're going to send it down to our courtside reporter, Ariana Pantoja, for more on tonight's game.
Penn scored 9 points, and you called a timeout. What did you tell them in that timeout?
Just keep your composure. You know, they came out and hit some shots. Defensively, they took us out of what we wanted to do a little bit and kind of caught us off guard. But, you know, we came back and went on that run, and now we're in a dogfight. So hopefully we can string together some consecutive stops and scores.
Thank you, Coach.
And that was Clint Swan, who we just did a package over.
Yeah, he's a terrific guy, terrific coach. Thank you to Ariana Pantoja down there on the court. We're going to send it to our halftime break, and during our halftime break, we're going to air our Swan interview package. We hope you like it. Take a look, take a listen. It was a good one. We'll see you in the third quarter.
So the reason why I took the PLTW biomedical course is because I have been inspired by my older siblings who have also taken the course. Furthermore, I'm also interested into majoring the medical field. This has met my expectation tremendously because it has shown me many different scenarios of what the human body can do, and it has also exposed to me different careers that are involved into medicine. We've done many labs throughout the years, so we have done many dissections, we've also done some collaborations with each other, and we've also done some many projects to understand different, for example, bacteria or diseases. So these courses will help me throughout college because it has exposed to me and made me learn so many things throughout biomedical and helped me learn throughout the human body.
The main goal of this restaurant is to provide the community with something that's incredibly different than anywhere else that's available. Provecho is about community. The most important thing about Provecho here is the family that we've created. It's about time spent together, eating together, that feeling of camaraderie when we share food together. That's what we try and do in every aspect of what we do here. One part of the restaurant is all seated, it's all communal dining. So you sit together at larger tables. You may be sitting with people from different areas, different walks of life, and some people end up sharing food together, but the conversation is what's important. That's what Provecho means.
The team that we have here is amazing. So once you come into this restaurant, it's not only from the food and the entirely different cuisine that we have, it's just the people and the smile, and it makes you just feel like you're at home. You're at home. In a different country.
Anytime somebody tries something different and likes that style or cuisine and enjoys something and learns something new, those are the dishes that are my favorite, because I think it's important to expand culture and diversity in oneself. So I think it's really an awesome opportunity to serve something new, a bit different.
They picked a very good site when they chose in Crown Point, because Crown Point is a beautiful town anyway, but around the square like this, the square is a hub of a multi-generational opportunity where they can educate. So their whole mission statement is about educating us to educate the public. They want to restore the way that you go out to dinner.
The menu's inspiring, I think, because we're changing it so often. We have a partnership with Five Hands Farm in Lowell. We sat down early in this winter and we chose all of our seeds that we're growing this summer, so we're trying to create this partnership, just this whole work of sustainability and how we should take care of our community. I think that it's inspiring because the menu changes so frequently to provide that habitat here. I mean, we're changing things on the daily. Whatever Nash has got from the farm is what I'm going to put on the menu. Whatever's tasting fresh, whatever's whatever he has the most of and the best quality is what we're going to be serving.
The tacos were awesome, very tasty. I think the size is perfect. My husband and I shared. A restaurant like this, I think you could find up north in Chicago, like Lincoln Park area. So it's nice to have something like that in Northwest Indiana.
It's a great way to enjoy friends and share, different cultural cuisines and see what people enjoy, see what they like. Not everybody's gonna like octopus, but it gives you an opportunity to try it.
I think the service here is absolutely wonderful. There's not a lot of places where your waitress is as knowledgeable as she is with everything from the time we sat down until we're still ordering, and she still keeps giving us awesome information. So she's amazing.
A lot of variety. Flavor's great. The atmosphere is great too. But we just love being here.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Cam, can you hear me?
2006 was your first season here at Crown Point. It's year 20 for you. How's that feel?
Makes me feel very old. It seems impossible that it was that many years ago. You look at the players that have come through since I've been here, and those players now have kids who are coming through our camps or coming up through our system right now.
Well, Coach, in those 20 years that you've been here, the game of basketball has evolved a lot. Going from 2-point post game to a whole lot of 3-point shots being chucked up. How has your coaching philosophy changed in those 20 years?
Well, one thing that I've tried to pride myself on is that I'm constantly evolving. So your coaching philosophy always changes according to the personnel that you have, the opponents that you're playing, trends of the game, and so forth. But you always have your non-negotiables.
What just happened? That's why you got a wide open three. They weren't even in anything, but it went zip, zip, wide open three. You've got to force loopy passes. That's where we need everybody getting to. Then we're going to be making progress.
The one thing that has probably caused me to adapt the most is just the quality of player that has taken the floor these days. I'm amazed by how good these guys are. I think that just on an individual basis, if you look position to position, there's been an evolution in terms of the ability of these guys now, and I'm amazed.
One of those talented players that has come through this program is Dikembe Shaw. He committed to UIC just a few months ago. What can you say about him and his talent and what he's provided to this program?
Well, I think that the biggest thing that he's brought to our program is development. So many times you have a player who's fortunate enough to play at the varsity level as a freshman and is a key contributor as a freshman, and they rest on their laurels a little bit.
Welcome back to Game Night. We're going to send it down to our courtside reporter, Ariana Patoya, with Barack Kuhlman, head coach of the Penn Kingsmen.
Coach, your team started off a great run, but now CP has settled in, and we've got ourselves a game. What did you tell your guys in the locker room?
So there's some things we need to clean up. They're very physical. We need to match that physicality. I was pleased with our effort. We got to keep moving the ball on offense. So we're getting a little stagnant, and when we move the ball, we were able to score. And then obviously we got to get back and defend without fouling.
Good luck, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Coach Kuhlman down there on the sideline. Down one at halftime. Cam, as already said, it's a good one. We have a good game going on. 29-28 Bulldogs is the score. A great season opener to have.
Oh, a fantastic season opener. It's almost going cinema perfect right now. Close. I mean, not to be corny, but close game right at half. I mean, this is what you want. And I told you before the show started, game-winning territory right here. Game-winner territory. And with Sasha in the building, it's a good luck charm, I'd say.
Could we see shades of Sasha Stefanovic tonight? Could we see it?
It's not the ghost because he's here, but, the aura of Sasha Stefanovic.
Maybe because he's here, we'll see a game winner. That, of course, be the best case scenario. I think anything short of just a win for Coach Swan would be disappointing. Alex Nicola, of course, we had on game night as well as Sasha Stefanovic. We thank them for their time. It was a great pregame show to have them on. Excuse me, it is 28-27, 1 point off. The Bulldogs have the lead and get the ball to start the second half. Dikembe Shaw, Kingston Rhodes, Cooper Mulaski, Bryce Peters, and Mason Darrell. The starting lineup is on the floor for the Crown Point Bulldogs. Benjamin Murphy, Christian Bonner, Michele Price, Lucas Obermeyer, and Caleb Kuhlman on the court for the Penn Kingsmen. Kuhlman has hit a few really contested threes, Cam, so far. It's gonna be dangerous. So they got to contain him here in the second half.
I mean, that's one of the things that we talked about is containing him, and I think we might have underestimated him just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hitting contested shots, like almost as good as they can be contested. So I think it's really about you have to contain him as much as you can, but there's no way you're going to stop him.
Right. Kembe Shaw comes around. He's going to get his first dribbles of the half out to Kingston Rhodes in the corner. Nice little head fake. He's going to go underneath. That one's no good. There's Lucas Obermeyer with the rebound. Kuhlman gets it right ahead to Murphy. Murphy inside, stolen by the Kembe Shaw. And Christian Bonner had his hands up, said, I ain't do it. But he runs into the Kembe Shaw. And a foul on him with Shaw coming up the court.
I mean, I would say good move by Kembe, just because of the little movement he did when he got bumped. You get bumped, you do that little body movement where it looks like you just got hit. It draws a foul really easily.
Cooper Mulaski gets to the Kembe Shaw, now to Kingston Rhodes. Screen set by Mulaski. Rhodes goes around it. Bonner guarding him. Possible mismatch here. Now to Peters, who really seems to love that wing where he shoots his threes from. Now Mason Darrell underneath. He's going to go under the basket. Mulaski swung over to Rhodes. Rhodes a three. That one rolls off. Rebound Darrell. Saves it to Peters. Peters puts it up. That one's no good. And Kuhlman comes away with the rebound.
What a sequence. What I will say, though, is we're seeing prototype Bulldog basketball. You have one guy in the corner dribbling in to get the defense sucked in, and then you go pass, 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 boom, shot, or a backdoor cutter coming in. It's Bulldog basketball to a T.
Caleb Kuhlman nails that jumper. First basket of the half. Penn back up 29-28. Benjamin Murphy diving for the basketball, tries to save it. Slides out of bounds, I should say, right into Coach Swan and some of the assistant coaches' legs over there on the Crown Point bench. So it'll stay with Crown Point. Kembe Shaw inbounds the Kingston Rhodes. About a minute and a half in here to this third quarter. If you're just joining us here on the Bulldog Network, I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls. Crown Point Bulldogs and the Penn Kingsmen as Mason Darrell nails a three. Gets hyped up after that one, getting subbed out early in the second quarter after a foul. 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Bulldogs back up to 31-29.
That was a beautiful shot, off balance. His legs were complete opposite directions. It was a great shot, off balance shot, and those are the types of shots that he's got to make.
Christian Bonner called for a travel, trying to back down to Kembe Shaw. He will not be allowed in. Kingston Rhodes will bring it back up for the Bulldogs.
Bonner going back to that. He's had great success with backing down Cooper and Kembe all night. This time, though, results in a turnover.
Mulaski loses it for a second, gets it to Kembe Shaw. Shaw called for a travel there. Bonner clapping in his face a little bit. As you said, Cam, little kind of a rivalry tension. Things are getting a little bit chippy here, just a little bit.
I mean, that was just a simple mistake of moving your pivot foot when you shouldn't have. It's one of those turnovers, but Crown Point up two. Penn's got to go on a run here and really put some pressure on the Bulldogs.
Benjamin Murphy brings it up on Kingston Rhodes. We thought the guard matchup would be Caleb Kuhlman and Kingston or Caden Rhodes, but it turns out to be Murphy. Bryce Peters taking on the assignment of guarding Kuhlman. Obermeyer, a little floater. That one is good. Tie game at 31. Here comes the Kembe Shaw right down the lane. Takes it right in there. No fouls called. Layup is no good. Kuhlman comes away with it. And now he brings it up the court. An advantage for Penn. Can they take advantage of it? Kuhlman layup, no good. Peters comes away with it. And here comes Crown Point. Peters will settle, drives inside. Nice pass to Kingston Rhodes, and he lays it in.
Beautiful, beautiful. Get those quick points. Catch the defense off guard when they're not set, and a quick inside pass to an easy layup.
MJ Wilson, the sophomore, at the scorer's table. Bonner gets Rhodes the jump. That one swatted out of there by the Kembe Shaw. Rhodes brings it up the court, driving down, and a foul is called, maybe a reach-in on either Obermeyer or Murphy. And Wilson will check in for, it looks like Mason Darrell. It looks like a timeout is called by Penn here. Good start to the second half. We saw kind of the opposite in the first half. Penn got off to a really hot start, up 9-0 after 3 threes. Then Crown Point responds with a run of their own. And now Crown Point's gotten off to a hot start.
Yeah, but the key is to not let history repeat itself and now have Penn get in the groove and have them lead at the end of this quarter, because you need to push the pedal to the metal and really get this lead as high as it can be and put even more pressure on Penn so that they crumble even further.
Yeah, 4.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. We have a good one here on the Bulldog Network. 33-31, Bulldogs lead the Kingsmen. First game of the season for the Bulldogs. Now to conference matchup. Far travel for Penn all the way from near South Bend. And by the way, IU Ohio State Big Ten Championship happening just as of a few, maybe like half an hour ago.
Of course you find a way to talk about football,
man,
Gabe.
Oh, that's a big game. If we can catch some of that after the broadcast, I will definitely be watching that. Kembe Shaw on the inside, driving through, physical, inside, lays it in.
Jumps and just reaches over two Kingsmen that can't do anything. They're just looking up and hoping he misses the layup.
Ball is stolen by Rhodes, dives on the floor, no foul, now a foul. Oh, it's going to be on Murphy.
I think it's 10 seconds in high school, 10-second violation.
So good job by Rhodes applying the pressure on Benjamin Murphy.
And, that's one of the other very common defensive schemes that Swans Bulldogs run. They run the pinch, and then they run the full court press. You have the guy bringing the ball up, usually the point guard, and then you have whoever his matchup is pressing him all the way down the court until he gets to about the start of the logo.
MJ's first shot of the season is no good. Mulaski with the rebound underneath, stolen away by Bonner, gets it to his man Kuhlman. Kuhlman drives right in on Peters. Wilson gets up there, swats it away from going in. And that will be 2 free throws for Kuhlman. Is there no goaltending there, Cam? That looked maybe.
Well, it was a foul, so technically the ball was dead.
But if that goes in, it's an and one, no?
It is an and one. So I don't think it was a goaltend. The ball was like right at its peak. So it was right there, but I think they were more focused on the foul than the ball.
Yeah, Coach Kuhlman kind of had something to say to the officials over there near their sideline, Penn sideline. Kuhlman rolls in his first free throw. And the second free throw coming right up here. 35-32 lead for the Bulldogs. Just under 4 minutes to go. Mason Darrow went a little early.
But he made the shot, so they're not going to call a lane violation this time.
No lane violation there to Kembe Shaw. A little quick behind the back, trying to get in on Benjamin Murphy, who he has almost a foot of height on, and the fadeaway is gonna roll in.
I want to say
how
something.
many bounces was that?
I want to point something out. Lucas Obermeyer was right there while Dikembe was, dribbling behind the back, between the legs, whatever. He was standing right there. The ball was in front of his face probably 3 different times, and he didn't take a swipe at it. That's something these Kingsmen are going to have to be aggressive with. Ooh, that's a scary fall.
Bonner takes a fall. He comes up limping there. Might have rolled his ankle. Something happened there to his right leg. He's not putting a lot of weight on it. Tells his coach that he's okay. He took a hard fall. Kind of got wrapped up. It was nearly another 10-second violation with the pressure from Kingston Rhodes.
They're talking to Darryl, kind of smiling and laughing, like they're old best friends.
Free throw from Bonner is up and through. See, he seems to be okay. It looks like, Bonner and Darryl are definitely talking. He's still talking to him as he's getting into his free throw routine. Takes a look at the sideline. His second free throw is up and no good. Obermeyer rebound out to Murphy. Murphy drives down the baseline, tries to throw it off. Mulaski goes through his legs. Here comes the Kembe Shaw to Peters. Tries to get it back to Shaw. Would have been
now on that free throw.
Play.
On that free throw, did you see what I saw? He put the ball up, stopped, and then finished his motion through. I don't know if that's part of his routine, but it's definitely something that could get the other team or even your teammates to get in the lane. You see in the NBA, Blake Griffin did it a lot with his late shot.
Mason Darryl, a 3 in and out. Tried to draw a foul, but Mulaski's right there on the follow. And a foul is called. A visual is pointing at Mason Darryl.
I can't say I've ever seen that call before.
I'm not too sure what.
It's Penn ball.
And by the way, Christian Bonner's headed towards the locker room. He's walking behind Crown Point's bench, hoping that he is okay. Kind of limping on that right leg. Try and get some updates on that. Mason Darrell comes away with the rebound. Here comes Darrell, a 3-on-2. Now Penn settles back into their defense, and it is going to be out of bounds if another foul called. Darrell's not happy.
Looks like Bryce might have stepped on the line when he caught that ball. It's one of those little tiny mishaps where your heel clips the line or your toe clips the line right as you're about to drive. It's not a great feeling, but you got to get over it and move on.
Lucas Obermeyer checking out for Cody Evans, who's back in. 2:48 to go here in this third quarter. Caleb Coolman barely stays in bounds on 1 foot there. Little ballerina action. Here comes Coolman up the court slowly on Bryce Peters. Definitely more similar in size than if Kingston Rhodes was guarding him. Coolman comes around a screen, a 3, up and no good. Cooper Mulaski comes away with the rebound, gets it up to Kingston Rhodes. Rhodes settles things for a second. Peters, Darrell, a 3. Good!
Now Mason Darrell's starting to cook, and he is so hyped right now after that made shot. I mean, way to put some energy into this Bulldog team and to this Bulldog bench. Now up 8 points, their largest lead, the largest lead of the entire game.
Timeout called by the Penn Kingsmen. As you said, Mason Darrell got really hyped after that shot. Pounded his chest, letting out a yell. Earlier in the first half, he got subbed out at, I believe, like 12 seconds or so into the second quarter after a foul. Maybe some relief coming out in that scream, hitting that 3. Bulldogs with their largest lead of the night of 8, 42-34.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they say, like, you got to put your money where your mouth is. He's been sat a couple times for MJ. He's been missing a lot of threes, but now he comes back after being subbed out a couple times, taking a little break, and he's hitting threes, he's making good plays, and just playing good team basketball. And now, largest lead of the entire game for either team. Crown Point is starting to pull away just slightly. I'm not going to say anything too close yet, but it's starting to seem that way.
So 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this third quarter. 42-34 Bulldog lead if you're just joining us here on the Bulldog Network. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls. Christian Bonner, by the way, is actually running over to the Penn bench telling his head coach Brock Coolman that he is okay to maybe come back in. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls.
I see a wrap on his ankle.
He's maybe taped it up there on his right ankle. 42-34 Bulldog lead with just over 2 minutes to go. MJ Wilson, Kingston Rhodes, Cooper Mulaski, Mason Darrell, and Bryce Peters on the court for the Crown Point Bulldogs. And Cody Evans, Mikel Burton, Caleb Coolman. As Burton steps out of bounds, Michaela Price and Benjamin Murphy on the court for the Kingsmen. Bulldog basketball. 2:11 to go now in the third quarter. Rhodes being pressured, basically a full court press here from Burton. Gets across half court. Burton going for a steal. Rhodes gets around the screen. Darrell, a deep 3 is no good off the rim. MJ Wilson comes away with it. Gets it out to Peters. Darrell going to try another one. That one's no good. Wilson nearly there. Rhodes with the rebound. He puts it up and in.
What a phenomenal shot. He even got bumped on that. No foul called, but oh my goodness, it barely squeaks in off the front rim. Phenomenal rebound from the little guy.
Phenomenal is correct. I mean, great hustle from this Crown Point team. MJ Wilson getting in there with the first rebound, and then Kingston Rhodes with the follow. Murphy to the corner, a 3 from Burton. That one's good.
There we go. Snapping the double-digit lead. Now back down to single digits, leading by 7. This is still such a tight game, and it could change at any moment.
Minute to go in the third quarter, 44-37, 7-point lead for the Bulldogs. Inside, Mulaski gets bumped, makes the shot. Is it an and one? I don't believe so.
Nope, I think they're
calling
it. Yep, they're calling it a shooting foul.
So Mulaski will go to the line. He's had himself a good night so far. He's got 9 points.
Yeah, not even to mention his defensive and his defensive, capabilities and presence, getting all the rebounds and just really being that kind of big rock in the middle of the lane when you're coming down, and you do not want to go up against that rock. Let me tell you.
back to a double-digit lead for the Bulldogs. Mason Darrell, his third foul of the night. And he checks out for Dikembe Shaw, who's going to get back into the game. Just over a minute to play in the third quarter. 10-point lead for the Bulldogs. MJ Wilson nearly loses his footing trying to keep a hold of Burton, but he stays up. Here comes Burton up the court for the Kingsmen. Under a minute to play here. Burton trying to get around Wilson. Good defense here from Wilson. Burton to the corner. Evans almost runs over Shaw, but Shaw did not have his feet set. So that will be a foul on Dikembe Shaw.
You know, I want to mention that Kingston Rhodes, Dikembe Shaw, and Cooper Mulaski have 30 of the team's 47 points. I mean, talk about not star power, but almost sharing the love. I mean, 3 players with 10 points in this game in only the third quarter. That's some great ball movement right there.
40 seconds to go now and counting. Here comes Benjamin Murphy being guarded really tight here from Kingston Rhodes. Rhodes reaching in there trying to get the ball. MJ Wilson swats that one away. Kind of ran right into him. Here comes Kingston Rhodes going right at Burton. He lays that one up and in.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
lead to 12.
Like we were talking about,
seconds.
Kingston, he might be small, but he is fast and he is shifty. Getting in there, moving his body around the defender to finish the layup. Beautiful, beautiful basketball.
About 10 seconds to go. Kuhlman still got it. Kuhlman crosses over, trying to get inside. Kuhlman loses his footing again. Murphy inside. He loses his footing. Here comes MJ Wilson with a second to go to Rhodes at the buzzer. No good.
A little too much juice on that one.
Little too much juice on that one is correct. 49-37 is the lead after 3. The Bulldogs lead by 12.
Well, Gabe, it was a close game.
A bigger lead going into the third or the fourth quarter now, though, Cam.
You know, it's interesting, too, because we just heard Penn's coach talk about how he talked to his team at halftime, and they're ready to come in and push this lead. But it seems like they've kind of done the opposite. Kuhlman has been absent. You know, you have these players that were playing so well, like Bonner and Kuhlman, that are kind of absent the second half of this game, and if they continue to be absent, they're not going to win this game. In fact, the lead's only going to grow, and it's going to be almost embarrassing for the Kingsmen losing the Crown Point again as bad as they did last year.
Yeah, the Crown Point Bulldogs opened their season last year with a 20-point win over the Penn Kingsmen, trying to do the same, maybe not 20 points, but trying to do the same here tonight. The sophomore Caleb Kuhlman, who averaged nearly 20 points last year a game as a freshman. Now here, he's struggling here in the second half. As you said, first half he got off to a really hot start, hitting threes all over the place in people's faces. But Crown Point's done a good job of containing him so far in this second half.
I mean, it sometimes takes a defense a little bit to almost remember and make it click what they had in practice the week before. You know what I'm talking about, Gabe? Like, they practiced all week about Kuhlman and how they need to stop him and what they can do to limit him. And now in the second half, it seems to be clicking because they held him to, I want to say, less than 3 baskets that whole quarter.
Yeah, Penn had 27 points at halftime. Bulldogs outscored them 21-10 in the third quarter. That could be the difference here in this game, leading by 12 as we enter the fourth quarter. Kuhlman the inbound, Peters and Rhodes trying to double-team Murphy. They get it into Murphy in the backcourt. As we get underway here in the fourth quarter on the Bulldog Network. And if you were just joining us, I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls, the Crown Point Bulldogs. Penn Kingsman, good game so far. Bulldogs lead by 12 as we enter the fourth quarter. Caleb Kuhlman's fadeaway jumper, no good. But a tip in from Christian Bonner, Michaela Price is good. Lead cut back down to 10.
I mean, it's a great offensive board and a good way to get the points back that they lost from Kuhlman's missed shot. Oh, and there it is.
A travel call on Bryce Peters. Tried to do a little jab step there on Murphy and called for a travel. Maybe moved his.
This is not how you want to start a quarter game, especially after having such a great run the quarter before. You start with an offensive tip in, and then you have a turnover. It's not the way you want to start, but I know Crown Point can recover, and I think they will.
Ball nearly stolen from Peters. Mason Darrell gets right back into the game, and he's going to get subbed right back out of the game. And he is visibly frustrated coming out of the game once again. That is his 4th foul of the night.
One more, Gabe, and he's out of here.
And he's really frustrated with himself. MJ Wilson back in for him.
I mean, it is important right now. Swan makes a good decision here to keep Mason out, because if it gets to a close game, they're going to need him. They're going to need him to hit those clutch shots, and it's better to keep him out now than to put him in and maybe not have him for the rest of the game.
Yeah, if Penn maybe goes on a run here, try and make this thing close down the stretch. Right now, down 10, Coleman trying to get him back into the game. Foul is called on Peters. I don't know if Swan liked that one very much, kind of stays quiet
Neither
after that
did
one.
Bryce. Neither did Bryce.
2nd foul for him. Kembe goes over there, maybe offering some words of wisdom to him. Obermeyer trying to get this one in. He does to Coleman.
You know, Gabe, I love that. Words of wisdom.
Words of
That's
wisdom.
definitely a way to describe it.
Coleman gets it over to Obermeyer. Being guarded really tight here from MJ Wilson. Impressive defense from the sophomore tonight. Will definitely earn him some more playing time. Another one called this time on Kingston Rhodes. And it's going to be his first of the night.
I said earlier how the refs are letting him play a little bit. Yeah, that's gone out the window. There have been so many foul calls in the last quarter and a half. I mean, it's been insane, but can't really blame them. They're making the right calls for the most part, and it's just they're playing aggressive.
Under 7 minutes to go here in this 4th quarter. Obermeyer tries a 3. That one rims out. Kembe Shaw comes away with a rebound. Here he comes. Pushes off of Burton. Dishes inside the Kingston Rhodes, and he lays it in.
And you said earlier that Dikembe is a great post player, but he's a great facilitator too. Even on the perimeter, now we see he goes up like he's shooting and just whips it in the inside to Kingston for a wide open layup. Penn was shell-shocked when that happened. They didn't move.
Lucas Obermeyer driving in on Wilson. Wilson reaches, couldn't get it. Price a 3 from the corner. That one's off the front rim. Kembe Shaw comes away with another rebound. And he will bring this one up on his own to MJ Wilson. A wide open 3. That one's no good. Molaski tips this one out. Tipped away by Burton. Burton comes away with it. He's going to put up a layup. Gets taken out. No foul. Here comes Dikembe Shaw.
3 rebounds in a row for Dikembe Shaw.
Peters to Molaski. Wilson. He decks a man. Puts that one up and lays it in.
Wow, and MJ, you know, looks like a slim guy, but he's got strength. Oh my, knocking a Penn player over. Trying to draw the charge, but oh my goodness, that was a great play by MJ.
That was a wild sequence of events as Penn calls yet another timeout. Lead extended to 14 for the Bulldogs, and MJ's first points of the season.
A double-digit lead against Penn. That is not something to gawk at. I mean, this game started off with Penn going on a 6-0 run to start the game. And now it's 53-39 with the game slowly winding down. Penn's got to make a move here quick.
Not just a 6-0 run, but it just looked like this team was the faster team. To be honest, Cam, they looked like the better team to start this game, and Crown Point has responded really well, and that could attest to coaching. Coach Swan and the job he's done.
But like I said, Kuhlman, this quarter too, has been absent. And I think he's made 1 basket, if that, and he was the main focal point of their offense during the first half. So for them to get back in this game, Kuhlman needs to turn the switch back on and get in that groove again if they're going to make this a tighter game.
Bryce Peters taking on Kuhlman once again. He's done a pretty good job of at least containing him so far tonight. Kuhlman gets trapped down there underneath. Murphy is inside, had a little gap, didn't decide to take it. Obermeyer to Bonner on the outside. Bonner trying to get around Shaw, doesn't want to go to his right hand. Now circles to his left. Euro step inside, loses the ball out of bounds, and it'll be Crown Point ball.
You know, Dikembe's a smart player, right? And he goes and forces them not just to his other hand, but to the line. It's something Swan and all the basketball coaches coach their players all the time, is that you force them to their offhand, but if you can't, you force them to the out of bounds lines so that they might step out like we've seen today.
And like we just saw, Molaski steps out of bounds. He trying to box out Price. Price saves the ball. Molaski gets his hands on it, but he was out of bounds when he did. Now Coleman, the inbound. Penn retains possession, has to get it in. He gets it into Murphy. And it's going to be a foul, a push here on Kingston Rhodes. Puts his hand on his head a little bit of confusion. That's his third tonight. He has 14 points tonight, by the way.
And what I will say now about Kuhlman, which is interesting throughout the whole game, we've seen him do a lot of the inbound passes, which I find very strange because, he's the best scorer on your team. He's the best shooter on your team. Why not make an inbounds play that, you have a couple screens wrap around, you have him come around the corner and get a wide open three? I don't understand that.
Good defense from Bryce Peters on Caleb Coleman. Steals ball. Here comes Mason Darrell back in again, Cam. One more foul, and he will foul out.
I will say.
So he's got to be careful.
With the lead they've built up, it's not too risky.
Yeah.
He's just got to be careful. But if he does get that fifth foul, MJ will come right back in, and I think they'll be okay.
Bryce Peters waiting here on Christian Bonner. Now he's going to go right to his left, drives inside, kicks it out. Darrell waiting all the way out near half court.
Not going to lie to you, I thought he was going to shoot that.
Maybe just holding the ball here. Running down to about 4 minutes to go. Darrell cross court to Peters. Peters just holding to Shaw in the corner. Pump fake, and that ball nearly stolen from behind by Murphy, but not before he's called for a reach-in foul.
So now is the part in the Bulldog offense where they play what I call the waiting game, right? They're up a good amount. It's less than 5 minutes in the quarter, so they're just going to pass the ball, do normal passes, just routine passes until someone just gets open. Something I was taught my freshman year when I played, and it's something that they do during the end of every game.
Whoa, what a sequence of events. Murphy gets at the Bonner. So a steal from Crown Point, steal from Penn. Penn gets a bucket. But now Crown Point right back with the ball, up 12, 53-41. Penn putting pressure, double teaming anyone they can double team. Under 4 minutes to go, over halfway through the fourth. Mason directing the Kembe Shaw to move around, get open. They get it back to Rhodes up near the logo. Taking a few dribbles, just taking his time. Gets it to Mason Darrell. Inside to Molaski to Peters. Peters puts that one up. That one's no good. Tipped around Molaski, a little floater. That one's no good. Obermeyer with the rebound. Price to Kuhlman. Here comes Kuhlman. He's going to try a three right in Darrell's face. That one's no good. And that one's tipped up. Obermeyer saves it. Gets to the Kuhlman, who stays in bounds. Price has it now, trying to get it inside. Gets to the Obermeyer. Out for three. No good. Mason Darrell comes away with the rebound.
He just postered Kingston.
Keeps his footing, and Kingston Rhodes, he goes down over near the Penn sideline, and he's going to stay down. He's trying to get up. He does.
I mean, Mason went up and grabbed that rebound over Kingston. I mean, his entire chest was above Kingston's head. That's kind of scary. You land on top of him, that could cause injury.
Those are those are called hops, Cam.
Yes,
right? Called hops.
And Mason Darrell's got plenty of them.
He's got a lot of them. He's got a lot of hops. He can get really high, can dunk, and he can get chest to head with Kingston Rhodes on a rebound, I guess. Here comes Bryce Peters running now under 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Kembe Shaw out to Reed Kagi for three. That one's no good. Molaski is going to be called for an over the back. Nearly got that rebound over to Kingsman. But Penn will get the ball back. And now Penn, they've got to get going. They are in the bonus, so they will get free throws here.
Man, I mean, it's not a spot you want to be in with 3 minutes left. To be in the bonus, for Penn to be in the bonus at least. Because you think about this, one of the late game strategies you do, they need some threes. They need something. You foul them. You foul them so that they only have two shots, and then you have the best post position so you can grab the rebound and you get fouled, and it's just a back and forth. Now they're in the bonus, so any foul you do will give them free throws.
So the lead cut back down to 10. Penn trying to cut into this Crown Point lead that they've had for a lot of the third quarter and all of the fourth quarter. Peters being guarded tight by Obermeyer, which he has been all game. Now to Kembe Shaw, going to bring this one up. Gets by Cody Evans. Dishes to Darrell. Darrell is stripped, but a foul is called on Benjamin Murphy. And that is his third foul.
One ref calls a foul, the other calls a travel. And it looks like they're going to go with the travel.
Wow.
And
a lot of the Crown Point fans
don't
like
booing.
it. Lots of boos going on. Some boo birds are out here at the Crown Point Gymnasium. 2.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. An opportunity here for Penn to cut into a single-digit deficit.
You know, Gabe, you're an Eagles fan, right? These Crown Point fans are a lot like Philly fans, I'd say.
Just booing all the time.
Yeah, and they're really great fans. But
a tough layup, reverse layup. It's now a single-digit lead with still over 2 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Shaw brings it up, gets it to Darrell. Darrell cross court to Rhodes, who's going to hold it. Kembe directing the offense, directing Rhodes on where to go to Darrell. Darrell back up to Rhodes near half court. Under 2 minutes to play. Double team comes, gets rid of it. Back to Rhodes, just holding the ball here. Crown Point trying to waste as much clock as they can. Rhodes, Darrell, back to Rhodes, and he's going to be fouled by Cody Evans with 1:44 to play.
And I'd say, Gabe, that this game is, Penn's chances are getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer, and at this point, it's starting to become out of reach. They're down 8 points, which they can come back from, but with the way they've been playing and the way Crown Point does their end game, how they just pass the ball around, focusing on not turning it over and getting easy buckets.
Foul is called again on Cody Evans, back-to-back.
Or drawing fouls.
That'll be his third. But then Crown Point getting closer and closer to the bonus 2, which would be a problem for Penn if they want to go back and forth fouling if it gets to that point late in the game. And now Mikkel Burton will check back in for Cody Evans, who picked up his third foul just a moment ago.
Now I sense Kuhlman starting to just chuck up threes at the point we're at here. He can make them, but he's going to
loses that one.
As
Here
he comes down.
Kuhlman. Burton gets Rhodes the jump. Now Obermeyer a three. That one's good, and the lead is cut down to 5. Timeout is called by the Penn Kingsmen.
Uh-oh.
And we've got ourselves a game here. 1:25 to go.
Uh-oh.
5-point lead for the Bulldogs.
Might have called it a little too early here. I mean, these Kingsmen can shoot. They can shoot the ball so well.
1:25 to go. 53-48 lead for the Bulldogs as Penn calls another timeout. So we've got a close one here. If you're just joining us here on the Bulldog Network, you're joining us for a good one. The season opener for the Crown Point Bulldogs facing off against the Penn Kingsmen. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Cameron Qualls here tonight. Season opener, 53-48 Bulldog lead. It's gone back and forth until about late in the third quarter when Crown Point got out to as much as a 14-point lead. But Penn has now cut into that lead all the way down to 5.
Now, Gabe, could we see an overtime game? At the
Maybe.
First game of the season, an overtime game. These teams, I'd say, are pretty evenly matched. I mean, so far from what we've seen, I mean, Crown Point went on that crazy run, and we're thinking, oh man, they're doing what they do. They're starting to run away with it, but hey, Penn came right back, and now they're within 5 in crunch time. It's been a very impressive showing from these Kingsmen compared to last year.
Mason Darrell is in the game. One more foul, and he will be checking out of here.
I mean, this is when you want him. This is when you want him in the game. Crunch time. 100%.
Cooper Mulaski, Kingston Rhodes, Bryce Peters, Dikembe Shaw, the other Bulldogs on the court. Minute and change to go here. Rhodes just running around with the ball, trying to chew as much clock as possible. Peters guarded by Kuhlman. Darrell guarded by Murphy, and a foul is called on Murphy trying to reach in and swat the ball away from Darrell. That is Murphy's third foul of the night. He's got 7 points tonight. And I guess, Cam, we've talked about how Kuhlman hasn't really made an impact, but 15 points, that's a good night for anybody, I think, except him.
Yeah, I mean, 15 points is nothing to, frown at or anything like that. But for the impact that he makes on this team, it's as he commits a reach and foul.
That'll only be his second of the night. But that sends Darrell to the line now as Crown Point's in the bonus. A big foul from Caleb Kuhlman.
And these are big free throws right here to push the lead to 7. Make it a 3-shot game.
That one rolls in. Kind of goes off the back rim, rolls back into the basket. 6-point lead now for the Bulldogs. Minute 03 to go here in the season opener versus the Penn Kingsmen. Mason Darrell's second free throw is true. So a 7-point lead, 55-48 for the Bulldogs.
And that's important because now it's a 3-3-point shot game or a 4 2-point shot game. Very hard to do in a minute.
Here comes Burton. They're going to try and do this quick. He almost went for a shot. Dikembe wanted it up and down. Obermeyer, a three, no good. Murphy goes up for the rebound. Couldn't get it from Kingston Rhodes. Rhodes is trapped in the backcourt. He's going to get away from it. Here comes Rhodes on Coolman. Rhodes is going to get fouled by Burton with 43.2 seconds to go. And that could be it, that Obermeyer miss. If he made it, it would have cut it to 4. Penn could be playing this last 45 or so seconds differently. But now it's 7-point lead, and Rhodes will go to the line. The leading scorer tonight. Good debut for him in his senior year. The Manchester commit. First free throw off the back iron.
I mean, I'll say this. Kingston, we talked about the size difference before the game, and he put us to rest, just showing that, the size comparison and the mismatch, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he's still going to use that to his advantage in any way he can.
43.2 seconds to go and running. Caleb Coleman's got to get going now. 8-point lead as Rhodes missed one of his free throws. Free throw line contested jumper. He drills it.
Now we're in high school, so it's a running clock.
So clock will keep running. 25 seconds to go. Mason Darrell's going to get it, reaching for the ball, or the Kingsmen cannot get it. Ball's nearly batted away. Darrell trying to stay with it. He goes up and through, and another timeout is called by the Bulldogs just before. Maybe Burton could have been called for another foul. Coach Swan wisely calls the timeout with 18.4 to go.
And Gabe,
lead is 6.
Gabe, I hate to do it, but I think that might be the game. I don't want to call it, but 18.4 seconds to make 2 3-pointers in a running clock high school game. That's very difficult to do. And also with the Bulldogs getting the ball, and I don't see it happening. I'm sorry, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, 6-point lead, 18 seconds to go. Penn's going to need, let's just say
Cinderella story.
They're going to need a miracle. They're going to need a Sasha Stefanovic-like final 18.4 seconds here. Of course, saying his name because he is
they wear
in
black and
attendance here
gold.
tonight.
They wear black and gold.
Yeah, he is the assistant coach at Purdue, former player at Purdue. We shall see. Maybe we'll see some craziness here to end this season opener. 18.4 to go. Peters to inbound. He gets it into Dikembe Shaw quick. Obermeyer pressuring him, nearly falling into the backcourt, but Obermeyer is called for a push on Dikembe Shaw. And if Shaw nails even just one of these, Cam, then I think we can put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Nailing one makes it a 3-possession game, and 15 seconds, no way. Absolutely no way.
First free throw rattles out. 15 seconds on the dot.
I would say even if he misses this next one,
that one is good. So
which I guess it doesn't matter, so I won't say it.
That's the crucial one, 7-point lead. Here comes Coolman. Wide open three for Obermeyer. Nearly fouled by Mulaski. Obermeyer hits that three. Timeout Penn. So still a 2-possession game. But Penn cuts it to 4 with 8.8 to go.
They are not giving up. They are still in. They still think they have a chance to win this, and they're still in it, and I appreciate that. I really respect the team who goes till the very end, no matter how bad they're down or no matter how close the game is. They just keep playing as hard as they can until the final buzzer sounds.
So a timeout called by head coach Brock Coolman of the Penn Kingsmen. They're going to put an extra 0.4 of a second, so 9.2 seconds to go. Here in the fourth quarter, 57-53 Crown Point lead. Still highly unlikely, but more likely than if they were down 7. Still 2 possessions.
I mean, I'm never say never. You know what I mean?
Never say never.
So it could happen. I think Penn still has a timeout. I think it could happen. I'm telling you.
So the Bulldogs will inbound They're going to have to go the length of the court to try and get free here. Mason Darrell, Kembe Shaw, Bryce Peters, Cooper Mulaski, and Kingston Rhodes, the original starting lineup, still on the floor. Darrell comes up, and he will be fouled by Benjamin Murphy, so they're just going to have to hope for some missed free throws here from Darrell, who is a great shooter.
Free throw shooter, yeah.
And that is the 4th foul, by the way, on Benjamin Murphy. 7.5 seconds to go.
Now, you see something interesting here with their scheme on the free throws is that they take all their players that would be in the key in the box and bringing them back, because the last thing they want is a missed free throw and then a shot, like a pass all the way down the court for an easy 3 and then another timeout. So very smart move and very preventative move.
You have the 3 tallest guys on the court back there to Kembe Shaw, Bryce Peters, and Cooper Mulaski. Mason Darrell makes his first free throw. His second free throw is also good, so back to 7 seconds to go. They're going to have to go really fast here. Kuhlman is fouled by Peters, and he will go to the line with 4.5 seconds to go.
But what I will say is if he meant to do it, if he didn't, still, it's a good foul. It is a good foul. It's what I was talking about earlier. They're in the bonus now, but even if he makes these 2 free throws, they're still down by 4 points. It's still a 2-possession game if he makes both these free throws.
Maybe you try and miss this one. Maybe
definitely. You try and intentionally miss it. 4.5 seconds, though. It's not going to be easy.
So here we go. 4.5 seconds. Kuhlman appears to try this one. He does, so lead cut to 4. With 4.5 seconds to go, Peters to inbound. Ball's nearly stolen. Dikembe Shaw comes away with it, and that will do it. The Crown Point Bulldogs.
As you see some love from Kuhlman to Dikembe Shaw.
Kind of gives a little love tap there to Dikembe Shaw. And a 59-55 win for the Crown Point Bulldogs over the Penn Kingsmen. A good season opening win. Definitely a close game.
I will say this was 100% the game that we wanted. It was close. There were some runs in there. Crown Point had a big lead at one point. I mean, I say big. 14 points for Penn versus Crown Point is a big lead. Mm-hmm. And it ended up being a fantastic game. Penn did not quit until the end, and all in all, it was everything that I think we wanted it to be.
A lot closer of a game than last year. 66-46 was the final score of last year's game. 59-55 is the final score of this year's game. A good season opening win for the Crown Point Bulldogs. They go to 1-0 on the season. We're going to send it down to our silent reporter, Ariana Pantoja, who is with Kingston Rhodes.
You guys did a nice job of getting downhill. Dikembe had some great shots. You did an amazing at the second half, or was it talk?
Halftime, we definitely had to adjust, but we do this every day in practice. We face adversity, at the beginning of practice, and we just know we got to keep going and keep it going if we're going to win the whole game and just stay focused.
You guys had 3 years of playing together. Are you all in this opportunity to play one last season together?
Man, definitely. I mean, we've been playing for 10 years together since 3rd grade, so we this last year. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Ariana Pantoja, our courtside reporter, has done an excellent job tonight. Thank you to Kingston Rhodes, and I think, Cam, we can start there with him. He was probably the player of the game. He had 14 points tonight. Good start to his senior season, one of the key seniors on this team, and overall just a great win by Crown Point.
100%. I mean, Kingston, I'll say it again. We said it during the broadcast. We said it before the game, but I'm going to reiterate it. He is the smallest guy between Penn and Crown Point on the court, and yet he made, I'd say, probably one of the biggest impacts. And, who says the little guy can't ball? You know what I'm saying?
Right. I guess that's kind of my motto, too. One of the shorter guys on the court whenever I play, but Kingston Rhodes, great night from him. Great night from Dikembe Shaw to open the season. Cooper Mulaski also very impressive to start. And we didn't see a lot of scoring, maybe not a lot of stats from MJ Wilson, but he definitely had an impact on this game. And for a sophomore, I mean, just the hyper athleticism from him. He is just so athletic. It's great. His defense, he just moves so quick, slides his feet so quick. He's also going to be a key piece.
Yeah, and he was one of the players in this game that I saw that was able to press up on his defender, get his body into him, and still didn't get a foul once, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he had a single foul tonight. The Crown Point Bulldogs, a big 4-point win over the Penn Kingsmen. 59-55. Last year, this game ended up in a 20-point, I guess, blowout, you could say, 66-46. Not as good of a Penn team. I also think this is a better Crown Point team, so this Penn team must have definitely improved. Maybe a team they see in sectionals or regionals this year.
Oh, definitely. And what I will say about this Crown Point team that I saw that was different than last year, I mean, last year's team was so well put together and so good, but the chemistry this year is on a different level. Like Kingston said, some of these guys have been playing together for 10 years.
Yeah, he sits in his third grade.
You know, chemistry builds up, and you can see it on the court. It portrays perfectly into the game.
Yeah, this team a lot more talented than last year. Coach Swan in year 20. We had a great sit-down interview with him earlier in the week. You obviously went to practice on Tuesday. That was also a great opportunity for you. You heard a lot of things at practice too, didn't you?
Yeah, a lot of things. Some I'm not going to repeat, but you know, he's a great coach, and you can tell by the way he presents himself and by the way he talks to his players that he cares about these players. He's pulling, you know, single players aside and talking to them about certain things that they need to fix, or asking them what they think he needs to fix. And the beginning of the practice, what they talked about was that he got everyone in the huddle and he goes, you know, look, guys, I'm going to change my coaching style for you guys. So that's something that it takes a guy to coach, but it takes a man to coach and know that he's wrong.
And, you know, I think that also tells you just how much time he's had coaching. 28 seasons coaching high school basketball, 8 with Andrea. This is now 20 with Crown Point. That just shows you how long he's been in this business, I guess you could say. That just, you know, attests to his experience, right?
Yeah, and what I think part of this is him wanting to bring home that state championship. And he's looking through and he's thinking, if I can't change the team at all, the only thing I can look at is myself. So I changed my coaching style a little bit. I have a little bit of a more positive attitude, and that could be the small little change they needed to bring home that state championship.
And as for Penn, this is arguably a more improved Penn team than Crown Point team compared to last year to this year. Caleb Kuhlman had an excellent night. I think we say maybe more of a disappointing night for him. But for anybody else on this court, he had a great night. He was hitting threes all over the place in Dikembe Shaw's face and Bryce Peters' face. A lot of contested threes. He had a great night. Again, this Penn team could be someone to look out for later on in the season, probably in the playoffs.
I mean, I'd say the reason Kuhlman didn't have a good game up to his standards, it was the Crown Point defense. I mean, you saw in the first half, they had a little bit of trouble containing him. It was a little scary. But then the second half, they did a great job. I mean, he passed up a bunch of shots. He was scared to shoot at one point, which is something surprising for a 40% three-point shooter. And he was getting turnovers, and they were forcing him to make bad plays, which was one of their keys to the start of this game.
Well, I think if you come up across a 6'7" frame like Dikembe Shaw's, you got to get a little bit scared. I mean, that is a big man, and when you drive down the lane like we saw a few times, with Murphy is the example I'm thinking about. He goes right down the middle. There's no one there. And he just kind of sees the Dikembe Shaw slide in front of him. He just gets scared. He kind of puts up a floater, goes off the back iron. That's a big guy to come up against, Dikembe Shaw.
Well, Murphy is 5'9". He's the same height as Kingston, the other small guy on the court. And you see a guy almost a foot taller than you, and you get a little nervous that he's going to jump up and swat it, and it's going to bounce up and go to the moon. But Dikembe didn't, which was a smart play because he got flustered, and instead of it being blocked and going out of bounds and being Penn's ball again, he just missed it, and Crown Point got the ball and got a point off of it.
And then back to one of the keys of the game to finish up here. Caleb Kuhlman, we thought he'd be matched up against Kingston Rhodes. Kuhlman, by the way, is 6'4". Kingston Rhodes is 5'9", guard on guard. That's what we thought we were going to see. We saw Bryce Peters, who's kind of a mix of guard and forward. We can see him play either position. But Bryce Peters matched up against Caleb Kuhlman. I think it would have been a lot different of a game if it was Kingston Rhodes up against Caleb Kuhlman, right?
I'd say it'd be different, but I don't think the result would change. Because the way Crown Point's defense works is it's very switch forward. So you have these quick switches off screens or off, whatever, passes and everything, backdoor cuts, and it's very important that it's quick and it's easy. So, there were a couple times where Kingston was matched up against Kuhlman, and he
did
great.
Well.
He did fantastic. So I don't think the result would change, but I definitely think it might be a closer game.
Yeah, he's a very physical. You can see how built he is. Really stocky, really strong for a smaller guy. And I think you can trust them. If you're Coach Swan, you can trust them if you have to later on in the season. If Bryce Peters is hurt or Mason Darrell can't play for some reason, you can trust them to guard those bigger guards, I believe. We just thought that Caleb Kuhlman was so good that it would be a really, really tall task for Kingston Rose to do that. But I think you can trust them as the season goes on if you get into that position where your smaller guard has to guard a bigger guard.
Well, we talked about how he is small, so he can't he can't get up and block the shot or anything, but he can use his speed and he can steal the ball, or he can just get around the defender, and that's exactly what he did. He used his speed and he used his athleticism to get those steals and get those fast break points that we saw, which ended up him being the player of the game and the team's leading scorer.
Yeah, he had a great night tonight. Crown Point Bulldogs had a great night tonight. They start the season 1-0 with another season-opening win over Penn. Last year it was a 20-point, 66-46 win. This year, a narrow 4-point win down to the wire, 59-55. 1-0 are the Crown Point Bulldogs. Thank you to everyone working behind the scenes in production and cameras. Ariana Pantoya, our courtside reporter, thank you to her. And thank you to Cameron Qualls. I'm Gabe Trevino saying good night from Crown Point.